Sandra all the time is here with the cold hard truth. She's the ears and the eyes for me and you. Every day, everyone want to hear from Sandra. And every time on the air, she's getting better. Tell your sister, tell your brother, tell your mama, call Sandra in the morning and in the evening. They always calling Sandra. And when they start fighting, they calling Sandra. And
That's right, folks. Everyone is telling their mama about the cold hard truth. Welcome to another episode with more truth telling, more problem solving, and of course, more tea spilling than ever before. Sit back, students, grab your tea and turn up the volume because class is now in session. Call in at 936-2626 because your voice matters. Share your opinion on issues that matter the most to you. All right. Good morning, K-Man. How's everybody doing? Good morning. Hello. Hi, Instagram folks. How y'all doing? Y'all behaving over there in IG this morning? Good morning to everyone. We got somebody joining us from New Jersey. Hey, New Jersey and Instagram. Welcome. Linda, how you doing, Linda? Addie, good morning to you. Let's do roll call. We're going to hang out here for just a quick minute for KISS 106 to jump in the studio and join us. And then we're going to be off to the races. Lots to talk about this morning. Honey child, I had to pull out the laptop. So just a couple quick notes from yesterday's show. A lot of you DM'd me about the dash cam cameras. I'm so glad that I could help, everybody to be safer out there. You've got to take your own security very, very seriously. And a lot of you expressed your concerns about the police officer and his sort of lack of response. I think he was probably so shocked himself. Listen, this isn't like in the States where police officers kind of expect anything to jump out, right? I mean, let's be very, very honest here. I was reading some comments the other day. I think it was the Jamaican Gleaner. And they were talking about, they had reported their shooting incident in Cayman. And Jamaicans were in the comment section like, what? That happened in Cayman? But they only have like 6 people in the Cayman Islands. There's still this bit of misinformation about this island and what happens here and what goes on here. People are still way too trusting of a lot of situations. And I dare say that actually goes for our RCIPS officers as well. Even if they lived in other jurisdictions, because we have a lot of Jamaican officers, listen, they're on edge 24/7 when they live in Jamaica. They come to Cayman for like a year or two. All of a sudden, they let down their guard and they're not ready for nothing. A dog jumps out at them and they're scared. So I don't know. They clearly need to do some more training. I've received all of your messages, folks. Thank you so much. Once again, people know that for some individuals, fighting with police and fighting in front of police is nothing new to them. That is their MO, and that's what they have done for many, 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 many years. And, they've assaulted police officers, and, the police officers kind of sit back as though they don't know what to do. Like the caller said yesterday, we need to maybe start shooting first and asking questions later. And our officers, even out on the water, don't really appear prepared to do that. The song that we ended the show with yesterday was a very, very interesting song. You guys need to go look up the history of it. It was a Jimmy Buffett song, But the backdrop of the story is basically he went to Jamaica in his private jet.
Big news. I have some important news for you. Interesting news.
It's Blake and Darren's Spilling the Tea with Sandy.
K-Man's top news headlines of the day from CMR.
Happy Friday, Sandy. Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Good. What do you got for us?
All right. So the biggest story trending this morning is the fact that McKeeva Bush has been discharged. And
What happened? What does it mean?
Yeah. What does that mean?
It means that he walks free. I don't know if the DPP will try to have a second go at it. I'm not sure what they will do.
Why was it discharged?
On a technicality. Basically, the court became concerned with the process of how they got victim number 2 to court. We have to break it down. It's a whole hot mess and then some.
Okay.
So, Coast Guard says
So
that
they may retry it again. There's potential they'll retry it?
I think there is a potential.
Hmm.
Coast Guard rescues tourists after their boat sank. There's a picture of them. I don't know what kind of boat they were on. It doesn't look like a very impressive boat, but there is a photo of some of them actually sitting on the vessel. And they were reportedly rescued on Wednesday by the Coast Guard after the boat that they took out went and took on water and started to sink.
Yeah, I saw that. It doesn't look like that big of a boat.
Yeah, it's weird, right? For all those people. Anyway, the boat was said to, one person told CMR that the boat was a hazard to navigation and a boater almost ran into it on Thursday morning, I guess, as it still sits out there. So, yeah, I don't know. Another crazy story, but thanks to the Coast Guard. And we have a prison officer now being confirmed to have been arrested for smuggling contraband into prison. This is such a sad story. Prison officer Darren Watson was reportedly arrested on Wednesday on suspicion of taking drugs into Her Majesty's prison, and it was discovered during a joint operation.
Wow.
Yikes.
Yeah, pretty not good. So the Department of Public Safety Communications and the RCIPS said the prison officer was observed smuggling contraband into Northwood on Wednesday. He's subsequently been arrested on the offense suspicion of smuggling, and he was transported to the detention center where he remains in police custody pending further investigation. Police are looking for Chantel Aguilar. If you know where this 14-year-old child is, she's been reported missing. Please reach out. Her family members have been posting on social media that they're looking for her. Well, she seems to be commenting on social media herself. So at least they should be able to ping her phone and find out where she is. Hint, RCIPS. Anywho, sources say that they should look very, very closely at a particular residence in the district of Prospect. That's all I'm going to say.
Okay.
I know. Like what? Yep. Some people seem to know who she's been hanging out with. Those are your news headlines. You got any good news for me this morning?
Yeah. Hopefully they're playing Barbie dolls.
Yeah, hopefully it's parade. No, but going back to that boat and the sound, like you said, it's a hazard. So are they marking it? Because, we're going into the weekend. People go out at night and stuff like that.
That's what people are saying to us. They're like, who's going to do this, Sandy?
Yeah. And where do you know where it is? Like what part of the sound?
I'm not even a boater. I'll be honest with you.
Okay.
I have no clue.
Somewhere out there.
Since the Coast Guard knows, you would have thought logically that they would have been the ones to like call whoever and say, tag it, put a buoy, put something out there.
Put a beacon light on it or something.
Yeah.
How deep under the water is it?
I don't know. But if it's
the photo, shows it like sticking out of the water. So maybe it's not. It doesn't look like it's submerging completely.
Well, there's some shallower parts, so it could have just, it could have been, and then
Definite
some parts
hazard.
that shallow parts, you can go over by boat, but
Wow.
So that would be not good. We don't need another incident like that happened. What was it? 5 years ago, 4 years ago, out at the end of the canal.
Happy March 1st to you, Sandy, and the closing of lobster season. Unfortunately, fortunately for the lobster, closed until November.
Fortunately for the lobster.
Fortunately for the lobster,
but they need to come back. they need to,
unfortunately,
they need to replenish, and now they get a break. So that's a good thing.
It's their time.
Have a great weekend, and we'll see you on Monday.
Okay, sounds fantastic, guys. Have a good one.
All right.
All right, folks. Happy Friday. Wagwan, K-Man. Give me 1 second. I think I've sent out the links to all of the WhatsApp group already, so you guys should have that. So good morning to everyone. As usual, we got a lot to talk about, so just give me 1 quick second here. And we are going to get it. We're going to get it. All right. So don't forget, folks, that we have the annual Red Sky at Night event this weekend. So we're going to have someone pop in around 8 o'clock. And oh, Lord. Jesus. Oh, my light. Why is my light not on? Hold on. All of the comments about this missing girl. Jeez, peace. I see y'all. I hear y'all. And the police just need to do what they need to do. They need to bust some heads open over this situation, including anybody who is hiding this girl. All right. Let me see. Let me try to tell our guests that they probably should pop on sooner rather than later, because once we start down this rabbit hole today, I tell you what, we gonna we don't want to start some of these conversations and then bring guests on because it's a little bit awkward. Okay. So to today's discussion points, yeah. So yes, I mean, you guys know, we had someone who's scheduled to come in on Wednesday, and then after how that conversation was going, I thought it best to actually have them reschedule. So they're going to come on next week, because I understand how incredibly challenging it is, even for our brains, to like switch from one conversation to the next. So we're going to talk about the missing girl today. We're going to talk about the McKeeva Bush situation. And what else do we got? Anything else on the agenda? There's just so much that's happening on this little rock of ours. So the police officer, we're going to talk about that as well. The prison officer, my apologies, who's been arrested. That's such a sad situation. So let's go ahead and do some morning greetings. Good morning to Diamond Princess. Happy Friday. She's wishing everyone a relaxing weekend. Good morning to the beautiful Siobhan. Everton is here. Good morning, Everton. Stephen joining us from the UK. Gabby, you sent me an Instagram DM. Oh, let me see. You know, there's times when I don't even get to check IG. Let me see if I can pull it up here. Because I am so busy, actually, that social media, we have more than one social media manager, but social media is kind of the last thing sometimes that I get to check. Oh, oh, okay. Sad. Very, very sad. But yeah, so I don't get to check my DMs and stuff as much as I'd like. But of course, if you know how to reach me, WhatsApp is probably the single best method. But yeah. Wow. So sad. You know, it's amazing to me how a lot of young people don't know when they are making decisions that's going to impact the rest of their lives, and they just don't have a clue. Yep, they'll learn though. They gotta learn one way or the other. Unfortunately, most of them learn a little bit too late, and then they won't be begging people, oh, I gotta live on NAU because I've screwed up my life. You know. Yep. All right. Give me one quick second here. Let me just send out a quick email. Quick video here because this is actually quite important. Yeah, boy. What a mess, folks. What a mess. Ooh, honey child. Thank you all so much. Those of you who come forward and try to do the right thing all the time. I certainly appreciate it. And rest assured that a lot of the information you guys share with me, I can't divulge a lot of times publicly, but it does get forwarded in the right direction. Let's just say that. So, yes. Okay. All right. Good morning, Gabby. Good morning, Miss Morna. Tracy, how you doing? Happy Friday. Robert is in the house. Miss Gina Berry is here. Good morning, Miss Gina. How are you? Siobhan, thank you, Siobhan. Good morning. Good morning. Victor, good morning to you. Shells, good morning. Is it Shields or Shells? Shields. Like Sheila, but Shields. Marshall, morning to you. Tagley, good morning, Poe. Catherine is here. Miss Hilda, another Siobhan, good morning. Always some BS that let people walk. They need to do better. Ridiculous. We're going to break it down, honey child. Miss Alba, good morning to you. Yes, sir. She said no, sir. Morning, Leroy. Sonia, have a great weekend. Thank you. Miss Pat, what's wrong with these teenagers? Apparently a lot. Morning, Leroy. How are you? Marshall, good morning. We're going to talk about that situation. It's crazy. Damaris says good morning from San Fran. 4:30 in the morning. You're in San Francisco? What? Yes, sir. Leroy. Yeah, we're going to get to that. Mr. Everton, good morning. Say, just get a tow truck and tow it off the water. Don't pay me no mind. I'm just a clown. Oh my gosh. Miss Iva is here. Another Chanel. Good morning, darling. How are you? Looking beautiful. Marshall says, who knows? It might be a good thing for protection. What is a good thing for protection? Huh? KK say, make your guests come on quickly. I know. I email them and say, hey, feel free to come on early, honey child. Rise and shine. It's Friday morning. And we got a lot to do. We're not sleeping around here. We are up and at 'em. I tell you. A hot mess. Wow. My people like, we need the sauce, Sandy. We need the sauce. Sandy, they're going to be hot in overtime today. Well, there's no court case that I'm running off to. So maybe we might have some overtime. No, I can't do any overtime. I got to go get a vaccine. I got to go to HSA to get vaccinated. So that's at 11:30. So I can maybe go till 11, but not a whole lot overtime. Marshall, good morning. Aliano, good morning. Shaka Zulu, morning to you. Miss Lucille, good morning. Aliano said I had to deflate my brain from this week's BS. Ay, caramba. KY345. I shouldn't be muted. Gabby, hello, darling. No, the police need to get up this morning. They need to get up this morning and get at it. Get on it, honey child. I got to pull out the laptop for some court notes today. So we'll go through that here in a little bit. Marshall will tag that comment. Aliana says, Miss Sandy, the young people know it's a mindset brought about by social media and a flawed attitude that they fail to grasp. And attitudes normally come from your environment. So parents, I'm not saying that all of y'all are failing, but you might want to have a look at what you're doing. Marcia says, good morning to the queen of the cold hard truth and all those online. Have a happy Friday. Miss Bonnie, good morning to you. Have a blessed weekend as well. Good morning, Andy, joining us from La Ceiba. Oh, yes. Shields. Now I'm rethinking myself. Says, yeah, you got it. Good morning, Miss Ann Connolly. How you doing, honey child? Emma's in the house. Good morning to you. Ferrari boy. Do you really drive a Ferrari? Or you just like Ferraris? Barbara G. Good morning, darling. Shaka Zulu says, happy Friday. Jess says he just got up that day and decided to do it. Probably not. If he did it. Chris K. Good morning. Morning from West Bay representing in the house. Lucky Body is in Dubai. You are lucky. That's on my bucket list of places to go. Don't worry. I soon come, honey child. Dubai looks fabulous. You know, they have their underbelly too. Don't be fooled by all that glitters. But I'm going there for the glitter. I'm not reporting on anything else. I'm like, I want to see that big shopping mall and all these fabulously rich people. Everybody has a $200,000 car that they just lounge around in and drive around in all day. Miss Aline, Paul, good morning. You think anybody in Dubai wants to adopt me? Like, you know, they're looking for an adopted aunt that can cook them curry chicken. I mean, maybe we can make a little trade. You know, hook up the Lamborghini or something. Leroy, KK. No, KK. We get vaccines for all kind of stuff in life. I'm going to actually tell y'all next week all about the vaccine journey. And there's lots of vaccines that we have been getting since, when was the first vaccine developed? And they've saved millions upon millions of lives, folks. So don't buy into the scary stuff. Don't go off track now. Vaccines are life-saving. That's why y'all are allowing diseases to come back that were practically eradicated, measles and stuff like that. Because y'all doing the most foolishness about vaccines. They save lives. Go get vaccinated, folks. Good morning to Marshall. Hold that thought. Coming. Felicia Rankin in the house. Miss Yasmin is here. First Lady Jan, we're giving her guests a little bit of time to pop into the studio. We're going to keep it short and sweet. Miss Ann, thank you so much. She says, I like your blouse. Can I tell y'all a story about this blouse? I actually have two of these now. Miss Stacy makes fun of me because sometimes I like stuff so much that I buy the same thing and don't even know that I bought the same thing. So I have this, it's exact same pattern, but it's actually like slightly different. So like the neckline and stuff is different. And I didn't even know I bought it until I got home. And I was like, oh, this same pattern is in the closet already. So I have two of this pattern, just different, slightly different designs, but I like it. It's a beautiful, beautiful array of colors, like all really fun colors. This looks like when you were a kid and they gave you a little paintbrush and you're like, ooh, mom, I love colors. And you just went wild with the colors a little bit. Yeah, that's what's going on here. Dean Sinclair, Real chicken or lab chicken for what? Okay, I think our guest is ready to join us. I see you. All right, so listen, folks. This weekend is Red Sky at Night. This is an annual event. We'll find out how long they've been having it. I feel like it's been a minute now. Cassandra Shea, who is the CNCF head of theater and festivals, is going to be joining us to tell us about this annual event. So, good morning, Cassandra.
Good morning. How's it going?
We're good. How are you?
I'm doing amazing. Thank you. I've had my coffee, so I'm ready to go.
Yes, ready to rock and roll. I know we were pushing for you to come on early because, girl, it's Friday.
Right.
It's going to be hot today. We've already got 500 people like waiting. So,
got it.
So good to have you on the program. So, Cassandra, Red Sky at Night is on Saturday. Can you tell us how many years has this annual event been hosted now?
So this annual event has been going on for almost over 10 years. And we have, every year we find different ways to highlight and amplify Caymanian heritage, culture, voices. And so this year, I'm sure that people remember from last year, there was a Caymanian village. One of our biggest things this year is that we're really amplifying that and adding a whole bunch of new kind of events and demonstrations that's going to be circling around the Caymanian village this year.
Okay, so for people who've never heard of Red Sky at Night, how would you describe it?
So it is a multidisciplinary festival that is on the grounds of the Hartwell Theater that really circulates around local arts, culture, and music. So performances, film, there's sometimes a film aspect. So we've had many, many different aspects of being able to amplify Cayman heritage and culture over the years. So that's what I would say Red Sky at Night is essentially, a festival around culture.
Nice. So I've been there a number of years. I think it's so much fun to take the family and to just go and hang out and have lots and lots of fun. Is there anything different that we can expect to happen this year in terms of like performances? So what's on tap?
So as I was saying about Caymanian Village, one of the biggest highlights is having a lot of local voices. So we have a chit chat corner with a lot of our local Caymanians telling stories and sharing our heritage. We have sandbacking, smoke pots. So we've got a catboat demonstration as well as a catboat raffle. So that's free to the public. They can apply to win a opportunity to like ride on a catboat in the future. So that's probably one of the big takeaways for the village. We've got traditional swanky with the civil oranges being made. And then, of course, we've got the main stage performers as well as Hartwell performers. So John Gray will be performing Flowetry Calf Festival. They will be there. We partnered with them in the past. And Phoenix Sings, which is an upcoming younger artist. And then we also have on the main stage people that everybody knows. So Pandemics will be playing, DJ Cardiac is going to be playing, and then Madame Narosa, 5th Division, everybody.
Nice. Wow. Okay. So arts and culture, it's just a festival of all things Caymanian. What I really appreciate about it as well is that it's really an opportunity for local performers and artists, my apologies, to showcase their talents. So, and their artwork. So there's amazing. And when we say art, we're talking about all sorts of things, whether it's like artistic jewelry, paintings, like a little bit of everything. It really is, such an amazing mixture of talented individuals. So I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, and it's going to be, this year we made sure to be as affordable as possible. So it's $10 for adults. It is $5 for children and seniors. And then if they are 2 or under, they are free. And so it's really accessible to anybody who can come out and come out and see the community and just support the local artisans and artists. We've got a lot of food vendors, we've got a bar, and then of course, dancers and singers, like the Cayman folk singers will be out, performing. And I know a lot of people are very excited about hearing them sing.
Beautiful. All right. So I'm looking forward to it. Let's give us, again, it's this Saturday. What are the times? When can people show up?
So it's from 4 to 11. So 4 to 6:30, we'll be having the Cayman Village will be open. Then it will close and it'll be a little bit more festive in regards to the performers on the main stage after that, up until 11.
Mm-hmm. And of course, there's going to be food there. So let's remind people that there are food vendors.
Yes. Absolutely. Yeah. We're going to have a lot of food vendors. So come with an empty stomach, come to eat, come to enjoy, come to drink all of the coconut water and fruit juices and, go to the bar and have some fun.
Yeah. Awesome. All right, folks. So again, the annual Red Sky at Night is this Saturday. Make sure that you don't miss it. Can people purchase tickets in advance? Like, how does it work with the purchasing of tickets?
Absolutely. So tickets are purchased on ticketplus.ky. And then tickets can also be purchased on the day of the event at the gate. We do recommend people also bring cash. Some vendors do not have card machines. So I know we've all been to festivals, but I just want to throw that reminder out there to bring cash. There will be parking at Cayman Bay, so people could take a shuttle over if they are unable to find parking in the area. So we've tried to, work with the community to make sure that we can have that accessibility. And then the grounds will be open from 4 p.m.
Okay. Parking. Any notes about parking this year?
The parking. So like I said, Cayman Bay. They will have a shuttle. We do have parking in the area, but that is limited. So we do urge people to be able to use that shuttle and utilize that, especially if they would like to be able to leave efficiently. The National Gallery will be closed. So just as a heads up, please in advance prepare to put in a little bit of put on your walking shoes. Okay, no heels.
Yes, for sure. Be comfortable.
Yes.
Dress comfortably for this amazing event. All right, folks. So come on out this weekend. Red Sky at Night, another amazing function by CNCF. And I noted with interest, Cassandra, your position at CNCS as head of theater and festivals.
Yeah.
Is this a new role for you or?
Absolutely. So this is I've worked with CNCF in the past as a volunteer. So I'm very excited to be stepping into this role and really seeing where we can take the local arts performance and culture, with the Hartwell Theater.
All right. So everybody, let's give Cassandra, this is her first time on the program. Let's give her a warm CMR hug and applause.
Thank you.
So congratulations, Cassandra, and good luck in your role. And of course, I'm sure that we will see you again because CNCF is really dedicated to promoting Cayman culture. And they always have, amazing annual events. And so we're looking forward to hearing more about those in the coming months for 2024.
Me too. I'm looking forward to it. Great talk.
Right,
Thank you.
We'll see you on Saturday.
All right. Thank you so much. See you guys there.
All righty. Bye-bye.
Bye.
All right. There's Cassandra. Yes, she is beautiful, isn't she? Caymanians, child. Y'all so pretty. Lots of beautiful Caymanians. Speaking of beautiful Caymanians, I was looking at that 14-year-old child who the RCIPS has said is missing. And I said to myself, oh my gosh, pretty, but I don't know what's going on upstairs, honey child. Oh, please, please, young people, don't throw your lives away. I'm begging you all. It's not worth it. Such a pretty little girl. What a hot mess. All right, let's turn up the volume. Leroy said the pot just starting, but it's not boiling yet. Shall we get it to boil? Shall we start to spill the tea? Where should we begin? All right. Do y'all want to begin with McKeeva Bush trial first, or you want to end with that? Let's talk about some of the shorter things first. Johan talking about he hoping the power go out if certain conversations come. Boy and girls and whatever, non-binary, whatever in between. We got a generator, boo-boo. So the power can go out. We can still be clickety-clacking. Too bad for you. Carla says, I'm down with popcorn, but no brownies today. Let's move to cassava cake instead. Oh, my Lord. All right. So listen here, folks. Good morning, Nathina. Let's talk about the let's talk about the prison officer, because this one is short and sweet. Listen, he is innocent until proven guilty. When I saw it, I was shocked. I don't know him personally, but I always see him because I think he's on the court run. Come, Miss Stacy, that brings people. He's on the court run that brings people to court and stuff like that. And so this is shocking, but what I would say is it's more sad for me than anything else because this young man, his name is Darren Watson, has been accused of carrying contraband into prison. Now, I haven't heard exactly what contraband we're talking about here, but look at him, one of our own. Where he from? He Brackerwa. Who he family to? Who his mama is? All right, well, he's a Caymanian. And so this breaks my heart for a number of different reasons. Number one, you all know that these people, you know, are little friends who say that we're tittle-tattling, you know, them UK people over there. So. And everybody else is sitting back going, mm-hmm. You see, this is why we can't allow them to have positions of power. Because all they'll do, you see, this is the tittle-tattle that we're talking about right now. Yes, they're tittle-tattling. And at the end of the day, they can't even be trusted. Look, they're destroying their own country. They're taking prisoners, drugs, contraband. My Lord Jesus. Oh my God. I really hope that this isn't true. But honey child, when you become a civil servant, senior prison officer, you've been working there for minutes. I don't know how long you've been there for. Try to keep yourself away from any criminality. Come on, my people. When y'all do ish like this, it makes us all look bad. Like I said, the man is innocent until proven guilty. And knowing the DPP's office and how they F up on a regular occasion, only God knows. They be letting guilty people go because they just can't get their ish together. What a shame. DPP, do y'all have any shame about yourselves and how you conduct yourselves? Because if you keep this up, honey child, y'all need to be flushed out in the worst kind of way. Now, everybody talking about this case. Like I said, we don't have any details on exactly what the contraband was. As soon, what? Okay, let me calm down. It's not 10:30, honey child. Oh, Lord Jesus, we need some prayer for this country and for our young people. Just hold on a second now. Hold on. Woo, these messages. Ay. All right, we get into that next, honey child. Okay. So, Darren, I know you got yourself a good lawyer. I already know who it is. That's the best you can get. She is the best. And, you know, I don't know, honey child, but this is what I understand went down. Apparently, the RCIPS, along with prison, I should say, have been doing these undercover missions. What do we call it? What kind of ops? Like on the DL? What's the proper term for it? Hold on one second. I can tell y'all. I should know this off the top of my head, but hold on. So they have been busy doing these type of operations. And I guess they know that they need to do them, and that's why they've been doing them. What a hot mess. Surveillance operations, yes. And so they've been watching people for a minute. Remember, you get caught once. That don't mean that's your first time. Chances are it probably isn't your first time, just statistically speaking. You've probably been doing it for a hot minute. I for the world of me, it just doesn't make any sense why someone thinks that they can get away with this kind of stuff. I am flabbergasted. So the prison has a special team to monitor the movement of staff who are suspected of trafficking. And they're keeping this team on the down low. Yes, honey child, they got a sort of a sting operation ops team and they are watching people like a hawk. So if you get caught red-handed with it on you, you might be hard-pressed to explain this away. Well, my foot gonna need this ice pack here this morning. Covert operation. Yes, that's exactly what was going on. Listen, I can't take up for our people if we do wrong. Okay, so I don't know what to tell you here. We'll wait to hear all the details once this comes to court. But what I can tell you is if he has done this, then he will get, jail time and whatever else. The other ones that were doing it, I think some of them admitted to doing it. And so, they'll get their 30% deduction in their sentencing type of thing. I'm going to need an ice pack this morning, Miss Stacy, for my poor foot. I feel it coming. Might have that TENS machine as well. So it is what it is. We'll wait to hear more details. As we know more, we will certainly let you guys know more. Of course, we were the first ones to post up about the arrest. We did say that, of course, the police hadn't issued any kind of a statement. And so after we said that, then they issued their statement. And we do that on purpose. We purposely say, so that y'all know, this isn't official yet, but we gets it good. So we know he was arrested and all that good jive. And then we say, and by the way, there's been no statement issued by the RCIPS or the prison services for that matter. You would think that they would kind of have these statements coming and flowing rather quickly, but they're a little bit slow. Slow typists, I guess. I don't know. Anywho, looks bad for Caymanians. Yes, Shaka Zulu, a clandestine operation. Looks bad for us. We're going to get to that, Miss Della. And it is what it is. Lord Jesus, take the wheel and then some. Okay, so a young lady has been missing, 14 years old, according to the RCIPS. And wow. Okay. Wow. All I can tell y'all is this is a very sad situation. Young people, I know you think you know everything. I know y'all do. You're 14 years old and you think, oh my God, look at me. I have lived all of 14 years and I know everything. Let me assure you that you know so little at that stage of your life that you're putting yourself in harm's way. I'm not going to speak specific to this young lady. I'm going to talk in more general terms about what some of these young girls are out here in these streets doing. They're posting up messages on social media when they go missing. They're in the comment section on the CMR post about them going missing, talking foolishness. Y'all, you want to be grown, but yet you don't even know how much you're harming yourself and your prospective lives. Let me tell y'all something, right? When I get messages like this morning, when I get messages like this morning, I really have to wonder about what is going on. Somebody says, are you able to show her photo because maybe she's abducted? Poor you, honey child. Y'all worried about the wrong things. These young girls not abducted yet. One of these days they're gonna be abducted, but they haven't reached there yet. And this is a sad thing, is because they just are. Oh my God. They think they're big people. They think that they're adults. And so they think that they know what's going on. And so they're out in these streets doing the most when they really should not be. Right? They're going to harm themselves and they do not even know it. This is just such a sad, sad situation. My God. I don't know what to say. We haven't had one of them really be abducted yet, but it's only a matter of time before that's probably going to happen. Some of them get in a situation that they're not really prepared for. And the guys that they're hanging out are predators. We've talked about some of them earlier in the week. And let me assure you that, she knows that she's missing and she's wanted. I'm going to give you all an update here that just came in live time. But, let me assure you that the problem is that who they're going missing for and the guys that they're hanging out with are really people who have zero concern for their health and wellness. Here's a message that I received this morning. I'm going to just read this to y'all and you take it or leave it as it is. So somebody was watching the show on Wednesday and they said this morning, I was told some disturbing things the day you went live about him, stuff that is fact. I don't know what to even say. So many adult males involved with underage children. Some have come forward with violent rape stories. Nothing is done. STDs, morning after pills, abortion, using pills smuggled from Honduras. Trust me, these stories are not just him. And these girls are between 12 and 14 years old mostly. Parents, are you listening this morning? Okay? Are you listening to what is happening to your children? A 12 to 15-year-old child should, in my opinion, not know anything about sex. Let me be very, very frank with y'all here this morning. And I don't care who gonna sit back now and say, oh, Auntie's so old-fashioned. She don't know what's going on. I know what's going on. And what I'm saying is, it's wrong. Y'all should not be out there engaging in sex. You're not ready for sex as a 12-year-old. Y'all shouldn't even know what the word means. Okay? Y'all need to really rein these children in. And then they get themselves in a situation that they're not equipped for, that they're not ready for. And these big men in their 20s and 30s and 40s and beyond will get what they want regardless. So even if a young girl kind of like, oh, y'all come hang out with you, but she's not actually ready, they're going to take it. They don't care. Smuggle in abortion pills from Honduras. Y'all think that that's anything new? Morning after pills? Wow. You see, when a young lady becomes pregnant and she has that child and you can DNA test that child, there will be no baby mama calling me on my phone trying to defend their no good baby fathers talking foolishness in my ear hole. Because the DNA evidence, regardless of what people want to say, the DNA evidence will be proof. 100%, 99.999999%. You are the father, said Jerry Springer. And you can only make children one way. So there'd be no denying what was going on at that point. Y'all are so ridiculous. I hear Reen outside today. Calling me on the phone, defending these people. Wow. Something, there's something wrong with K-Man. I'm sorry, but I'm beginning to think, I don't believe in conspiracy theories, but I'm beginning to wonder if we have not been cursed as a community. Because the foolishness that y'all say, there's been too much inbreeding over the years. The foolishness that y'all want to defend and you want to say is shocking. Somebody was telling me how, oh yeah, that baby mama was calling the other, she got a child for this one who been talking about you owe her money. And the two of them now in cahoots with each other. Y'all look so stupid. Y'all really look petty and stupid. I hear all the stories, right? Big hardback women out there trying to deal with these little boys too. Let's talk about some of the women because some of y'all nasty too. Some of y'all going after little boys too. But he was 18. Yeah, mama. And you're his mother's best friend and you're like 40 something years old. Maybe you just need to leave that little 18-year-old boy alone because he's still not up to your speed. But you know what? He giving you enough bun now. Johan, you here for Bun Friday? He giving you enough bun now that you can take that and talk about that instead of a check that you didn't want to come pick up for $1,100 for some office chairs. Maybe you need to go talk that. Talk how other men out there stabbing him up over the women he's cheating on you with now. Yeah, let's talk about that for a hot minute. Mm-hmm. Y'all don't want to get me started here today because 10:30 gonna reach before you know it. Shield says, my question is, what's happening with the parents of these young people? Everything starts at home. Some concern about the foundation of their lives. You and me both, honey child. You and me both. You know, folks, y'all have heard the stories about Aunt Lottie, and Aunt Lottie didn't take any prisoners. If she had to put her foot on your neck to keep you in line, she would do it. Now, I'm not of that particular school of thought when it comes to disciplining children, because I think that if you start young enough, you don't have to quite bend the child that hard. However, despite as hard as she was, you know, I'm so thankful because I believe in my heart of hearts that in my particular case, she saw the other sibling. We're not calling no names today. But she saw other people going to reform school and acting out like they freaking crazy and all this kind of stuff. And she said, oh, Jesus, this might be in the blood. Because you know them old people. You're talking about the blood of Jesus. She's like, this might be in the blood. So we got to stamp this out. And if that means that we got to beat Sandy every single day, she can get it. It was unfortunate because I don't think it was necessary, but there you go. She had to bend a tree that was already starting to bend in a different direction. That's very, very difficult. Parents, you got to start from day one. Shaka Zulu, we have to come to that question a little bit later on. Sexy Jeannie says it's a sad day when you have to drive home to a teenage child, the dangers of things like child trafficking within the schools itself. Some of these little girls are just as much predators as some grown men. Rough Seas, let me tell y'all something. Okay? This to me is a problem. There is no way that, let me check. Did I send out the links to everybody? Hold on. There is no way that a little girl can have anywhere near the experience, okay, as these men that have been out here in the streets. It's just not possible. So don't get it twisted. Don't get it confused. They might be wanting to be mature for their age, and yet when you sit down and you have a real conversation with them, you find out that they're playing dollies in their head still. They just want to pretend like they're grown. That is why the system has an obligation to protect children. Because you listen, a 12-year-old think they know it all? Yes, they think they know it all. When you were 12, didn't you think you know it all too? But that doesn't mean that you did. And that doesn't mean that people can go out there and go, yeah, look at how she liked to dress. She asking for it. No. This is precisely why we have to protect children. We have to protect them from themselves and their lack of knowledge and their lack of understanding. And so don't blame the children for what's going on. Blame the perpetrators. Because those individuals are adults. So I'm very, very concerned when we want to talk about what the children are doing. We need to talk about what the adults are doing who are preying on these children. Because if we had no adults willing to engage with these children in conversations and willing to engage with these children in sexual acts, we wouldn't be having this discussion, not at all. There's no child, no young person, no teenager that can walk up to me as a grown adult and talk no foolishness and I'm going to entertain them. Okay? In fact, you say anything out of the way to me, I'm going to find out who your parents are and tell your parents immediately. And I'll tell you, I'm not your companion. Do not say those things to me. It's not funny. It's not entertaining. I'm not interested in massaging no underage boys. This is the position that all adults should be taking. But they're not. So don't blame the victim, because what you're dealing with are children who honestly do not even have a clue. Anyway, someone has said this morning that the young lady apparently is in Prospect, and they might now have her running up and down the neighborhood saying that she needs to be rescued. Listen to me. And that she is safe. They say that they're actually at the police station now with her. Police got a call this morning that she was seeking help, knocking on doors at Prospect where the guy left her. RCIPS, listen to me and listen to me very, very carefully. Even to me, knew that this child was in Prospect. You need to find out whose house she was in Prospect. Baby mama, you listened to the show this morning? Don't call in, you know. You say she wasn't at your house and police never came to your house. Yeah, he got access to house in Prospect, doesn't he? So of course she'd be in Prospect knocking on the doors. And like I said, even to me knew that. Y'all need to find out whose house she was at. Go there today and do some fingerprinting and some DNA swabs and DNA testing on that sofa, that mattress, that bed, that very floor. And you gonna find everything. Go dig in the garbage. You gonna find everything that you need to be digging into. And the DNA evidence isn't gonna lie. Yep. Make her do a rape kit this morning, huh? How about that? And y'all gonna find the DNA evidence right up and down. Right. Bobo, you can be a cousin all you want, but what you're doing is wrong, and you need to be in jail. That's what kicked off all this foolishness this week. I'm gonna say it loud and clear for everyone in the back of the class. You need to be incarcerated. You need to be in jail. You are a child predator. Leave 12-year-old alone. Leave 15-year-olds alone. In fact, even leave the 16-year-olds alone. You claim you got a baby mama that you have several children with and all the others. Why are you dabbling in the kiddie pool? There's something wrong with you. And one of these fathers need to grab you and beat you until the police come for you. Now that is a beating that would actually be justified. Well, I'm glad to hear that that young lady is safe-ish, because you're never safe from predators. Y'all need to take her phone and check all those messages. Snapchat, Instagram, the whole works. And then y'all gonna get the case solved just like that. Disgusting piece of... Thank you, Ms. Della. She says they need to jail every one of these scums that are with these little girls. They need to be beaten with a cow cod. Johan says victim blaming / shaming is like a sport for people in Cayman. We can talk about that here in a second. Really quite sad. No caller ID. Ooh, don't you love when somebody calls you with no caller ID? Let's see which one this is now. Good morning, caller. Hello. I'm good. How are you? You want to be on the show, or are you just calling me as a pastime because we're live on the radio? You wondering what's going on in the Cayman Islands?
Yeah, yes, mom.
Do you live here?
Yeah, yes, mom.
Do you have social media?
No, mom.
Well, the truth,
Facebook.
You got Facebook?
Yes, mom.
Well, you go on CMR and you can see what's going on. Is there anything in particular you wanted to know about?
So apparently I've been on CMR your live, and
who are you?
My name? Mark.
Mark. You've been on
Yes,
You've been on CMR? I don't know who are you?
On your Facebook page.
On my Facebook page, Mark. I don't see no Mark on Facebook. What are you on Facebook for?
I just watch like reels, videos, and I've been watching Apparently I saw a video with you and your sister fighting. What was that?
Well, what does that have to do with you? You said you were on CMR. You mean you were posted on CMR, or you weren't posted on CMR?
No, man.
Oh, okay. So you want to just catch up on news?
No, not really.
Well, I'm confused. If you want to catch up on news, just go read CMR. I mean, it's pretty simple, really. If you want to call the show number is 936-2626. I don't know who the hell Mark is. What is going on with Instagram? All right, Instagram drop out again. I need to message these people and let them know that Instagram has been having an issue. All right, don't be calling. This not no time for no private conversation. Call 936-2626, folks. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. That's how it works. So there is some real issues here. There's some real issues here, folks. I'm glad to hear that this young lady is supposedly now in police custody. Strong Wilt says, hi, Sandy. Some of these parents are out there looking man themselves, setting no example for their children. Ah, boy. So sad. So sad. I am saddened when I hear this kind of stuff, really. Let me see here this morning. Okay, gonna read some of your comments. Just give me a second. And so yes, we're being told that this young lady has been found and is now at the police station. Good morning, caller. Welcome to the program.
Kidnapping charges.
Sorry? Hello? What's with the weird calls this morning? What did she say? I couldn't hear. I could not hear what that person just said. Did anybody get that? Okay. I missed that. Did anybody get it? All right. Never got it. Somebody said police were down Leafy Lane before 7 a.m. this morning as well. Okay. Oh, let me see now. Hold on. I couldn't make out what you were saying. Hold on. So this person said, I don't know why I can't hear me. Kidnapping charges. So they're trying to say that he kidnapped her? Well, I mean, listen. Let me be very, very clear. I don't know. Okay, kidnapping charges. Oh, okay. Yeah, they should arrest him for that too. And anything that they can throw at these guys. Okay. So, yes. Okay, so they're trying to slap him with some kidnapping charges. Charge him with everything. Charge him with even looking at the little girl the wrong way, as far as I'm concerned. I don't really care. He need to be in the cell with his uncle Jeffrey, so they can figure it out together. No mercy. No mercy. No mercy. Yep. Bunk mates, if you know what I mean. You know what I mean. Okay, honey chow. Let's talk about some other predators roaming around the place. honey child. Okay, let me show y'all some additional comments. Of course, there's some that I can't show you this morning that are coming in. Y'all keep me updated, honey child. Let me know all the charges that they got to be laying on him. Because, yep, that one needs to go to jail. I'm looking forward to reporting on that. Justice will be served. Okay. So this person has the following to say this morning. They said, good morning. The current baby mama who he's supposed to be with is being used for what she can provide. A lifestyle that he cannot afford on his own. She is his sugar mama. Well, I think we all know that. I mean, I think even she must know that by now. You think? Maybe. You think she actually thinks love? Y'all can't be that stupid, right? Okay. Sugar mama, I'm gonna give you diabetes. She, on the other hand, prides herself as the one who changed him. Oh, God. Hold on. What? Changed? Oh, no, honey child. You can't change monsters. No, mama. You just make them go a little bit deeper on the cover. You're not changing nobody. Well, you heard what I told y'all yesterday? You cannot change other people. Okay? You can only change yourself. And even when you want to change yourself, you got to work extra hard. What a hot mess. Okay. She, on the other hand, prides herself as the one who changed him, who he changed for because he loves her. She, the one, can't make this ish up. She is stand by her man no matter what. She is fighting woman over her first baby father as well. And you know, this is so rich because only yesterday I was told the connection between the first baby father and another woman who wants to be on here talking foolishness. And I didn't know that they both had children for the same baby father. Boy, y'all so messy. How do y'all share like this? Ew. Yeah. You know, my aunt told me there's certain things that are really not supposed to be shared, and y'all just didn't get that memo apparently. But anywho, at the end of the day, yeah, I completely understand. Good morning, Romeo. Rihanna was like, Mark, come off the phone. You're just wasting time. I don't even know what Mark or whatever his name was going on with. Oh my God. Johan says Auntie Sandy is watching too much CSI and now sounds like a forensic evidence expert. Well, sometimes it don't take an expert to know what you need to be looking for. Kimoni says Kimana is lucky that it's not Jamaica where the foolishness that they're going on with. Yeah, you know, Kimani, you might get a little bit more street justice in Jamaica, but I got to tell you the truth of the matter is there's a lot of sexual abuse happening in Jamaica too. That's horrific. All 80-something-year-old women being raped at home and all kind of foolishness. And then the little 5-6-year-old girl, don't get me started. Let's just leave Jamaica out of the conversation this morning. I don't even have the energy for that one. Diamond Princess says, I'm a mother and believe that mothers must speak to their daughters from a young age and explain things. I remember telling my big daughter that boys see her as another number to cross off on their lists. Teach them to value their body. There's no rush for having sex. Thank you very much, Mama. Johan, calm down. Instagram can't take the heat, says Miss Elaine. Eminem said, everybody choking, says Alejandro. Morning, Alejandro. Miss Dory says that caller needs to go and catch up on all the news in CMR instead of calling and confusing people. I know, right? Oh, kidnapping charges. Okay. We're going to talk about the DPP here in a second when we get to the McKeeva case, but I'm sure he's not been charged yet. He's just been arrested, if he's been arrested. But we'll see what charges actually come forward. All right. Now, you young girls can't be making up stuff I mean, he'll be charged with statutory rape, which is having relations. What's the penal code section with a child under 16? Same thing as statutory rape, same thing as rape, same thing as child molestation. That makes you a pedophile in my book, pedophile. So please get yourself together, and we'll see if any other charges will come out of the situation. So if she now claims that she's being held against her will, there is a potential to add on something like kidnapping. But when you're all up on social media, you see, this is where defense attorneys are going to be like, oh, no, she wasn't being held against her will now. We didn't quite go that far. Were there any drugs involved? Did he drug her? They need to do a drug test and all that kind of stuff. That's exactly what was going on. But it's easier to get a charge of kidnapping at a 14-year-old because a 14-year-old can't travel. They don't know how to drive, They're much easier to manipulate into staying in a location than anything else. So Dory says, wow, what did she change him into? A child predator? OMG, right? Y'all women think you can change these disgusting men. Y'all so stupid. I'm sorry. You can't change nobody. And in fact, you're less likely to even have any sort of an impact when he's coming with all this drama already. What makes you so special? You think you're, fragrance or something? You got the special West Bay stuff or what? The special West Bay fragrancing? It don't work like that? All right, let's move on. Rayanne says, I'm confused, though, as to why it's taken RCAPS to get over this case from her first disappearance. They should go MASH involved and social services involved because maybe they were, but I just feel like this man should have been in cuffs by now. Yep. I don't know, boy. MASH unit over there claim they're doing their thing, and it does kind of leave us all wondering. But I do understand now from another verifiable source that she is indeed with the police now. And I hope that means that they'll be making an arrest in due course. Mm-hmm. All right, K-Man. Very good. Very good. We got out them one at a time. One at a time. Predators, you are no longer safe in the Cayman Islands. On that note, let's move on to talk about Mr. McKeeva Bush. Speaking of predators, Anthony says there are still 151 children missing from January to December 2023. And they're still missing in Jamaica. Such a sad situation because unfortunately, some of them are probably not ever coming back. Oh my God. Matt, laughing out loud, special West Bay fragrance. Yeah, women's so stupid. We're stupid. We think that we got the special ish that can change this man. Child, if he's had one, he's had all. That's how they pretty much see it. They don't care about nothing. All right, let's move on. McKeeva Bush. Oh, Lord Jesus. Where's my Bible today? I feel like I need to put my hands on the Bible because this one's going to be a little bit challenging. So he's been discharged. He walked out yesterday. Somebody sent me a Compass video where all of a sudden he didn't need the cane anymore. He was skipping and dancing out of prison, doing a little jiggle jiggle. Siobhan, his number one fan, was there holding his hand, saying, you come on, Mac, I got you. Lord Jesus, hashtag she is supported. It disturbs me when women do not see patterns of behavior in men that it should cause them a lot of concern. Okay. So apparently there's certain things that we can't discuss with the legal arguments in this case all now. I don't know why is the media being gagged like this? I don't understand this. Chief Justice, can you please answer the question as to why now that he's been discharged, what's the issue? Why can't we talk about the legal arguments? I don't understand this at all. So I'm very, very confused. So what I'm going to do today is tell you why he got discharged, because there was an issue with the process. I mean, I don't even know what I can say today without being in contempt in terms of why he was. I gotta tell the people something. This don't make no sense. Oh, just read them the order. They don't understand no friggin' order. I'm going to go through my case notes that I took in court, and we're going to discuss those live evidence that was in court. And then I want y'all to come to your conclusion in terms of where the issue lied. Okay? Victim number 1. Let me increase the size on the laptop so I can see. Oh, this is another case. Hold on. Let me open the McKeeva Bush file. 1 second. McKeeva Bush trial. There we go. Okay. So, victim number 1, keep in mind, both of these victims are civil servants, and there's something to be said for that. The defense starts out, my apologies, the prosecution, Charles Miskin, KC, starts out talking about the fact that this was, in their estimation, a simple case. Poor them. Let me make some general comments about the DPP's office. It is shocking sometimes that y'all win any cases at all. Head of DPP, you've been on the job for a minute now, and we're expecting better of you and your team. You all need to get it together. You leave a lot to be desired with how you handle cases. This one is on you. Okay? The failure of this court case rests squarely on your shoulders. And so, as head of the DPP, that means that you need to take some accountability. Now, if this was a big time Caymanian in this job, we would certainly be up in arms this morning about, oh, look, another Caymanian don't know how to do the job. Well, another Englishman clearly don't know how to do the job either. Let's be very clear, honey child. Okay? You don't know how to do your job. When you have a high-profile defendant like Mr. Bush, you have an obligation to cross your T's about 20 times, double-check everything, triple-check everything, and make sure you have done things the right way. They were asking for disclosure of documents. You know what you needed to do? Give them the very toilet paper that you wipe your bonke with the day that y'all decided to charge him. Give him everything, because they are digging for any reason to make sure that this man walks and get off. And so do not give him, don't give them a reason because you screw up procedurally. Y'all should be ashamed of yourself. And I hope to God that you've called at least victim number 1, who recognizes that she's a victim, and apologized to her today for the trauma that you have caused this poor woman. Y'all are ridiculous. Make me sick to my stomach. So this incident happened back in September of 2022. Okay? First of all, let me say something about the jurors before we get into the details of the case. There was one guy there who clearly did not want to be there. And I sat there thinking to myself, how does jury selection work in this country? When these again, I can't help but think that the DPP representatives are so incredibly disconnected from the process that they don't have a clue. Because a blind man could see that this man had no interest in being there. And although I was not there during jury selection, I doubt his attitude was any different. He was sitting there looking at his nails, picking his nails during the proceedings. When they were playing witness interviews and whatever, he would not even look at the video and pay attention. I gotta be honest with you. I was beginning to wonder what the heck was going on with this particular juror. I'm like, this man is going to walk no matter what they do. How do you show up to jury duty and not even look at the evidence? This is someone who took an hour to get there, I'm assuming, on the first day of trial because he just don't care. He looks sloppy. As he walked in, his shirt's barely tucked in. He just looked like he don't give a damn. He want to be home smoking one big thing of spliff and ganja all day long. And this is who you pick as a juror? DPP, y'all ain't, something's wrong with you all, I must admit. I mean, I get it that the jury pool is small. And by the way, we're MPs this morning. Can y'all please change the legislation to allow for the jury pool to be larger than what it is? Because this ain't cutting it. And the fact that you could allow somebody like that on a jury and not recognize that, oh, wow, this person doesn't even care to be here. Don't force people who really do not want to be there, because they're not going to find in your favor. They're not going to listen to the evidence. They're not going to pay attention. They don't give a damn. And this is problematic. Okay? Really, really problematic. What a hot mess. Anyway, prosecution Casey gets up and says this is a simple case for him. I guess he don't know the definition of simple. Allegations were that at the Regional Tourism Conference back in September of 2022, at the welcome reception, so I actually attended the conference, Cayman hosted it. It was the first conference post-COVID. We had the opportunity to host it. And it's such a disgrace that we can't even host these types of events and, not have drama come out of it. We're going to get to that. It included heads of states, ministers, government officials, guests from other countries. Everyone says the prosecution was supposed to be in their best behavior, but he says the defendant was not. He appears to have been drinking, but opinion varies on that. So he admits, you're going to hear some witnesses who are like, oh, I don't know if he was drinking or what. All right. And that he assaulted 2 women, both of whom are government employees. So victim number 1 was actually working the event that night. Let me not use the term victim. Complainant number 1 was working the event that night. Complainant number 2 was covering the event, but also civil servant, but not working in the capacity as a civil servant that night. That's important because I'll come to why here in just a second. So the prosecution's position is that he assaulted them indecently. That's the first 2 charges against him. And if they don't find that there's an indecent assault, because indecent assault has a sexual application to it. So even if you find that there's no indecent assault, the alternative charges were put to him that he assaulted them. So an assault doesn't take much, Refer your minds to what happened to me on Wednesday. There was no contact made with my face, my body. She just comes swinging with these fat hands at me, and I put up my hands. But the very fact that she attacked me and touched me unwanted in that manner, that's an assault. An assault doesn't require anybody to properly get boxed or anything of the sort. It's common assault is what it is. But it's still a criminal offense. You can take one finger, and some of his supporters need to go and pay attention to law school now. You can take one finger and push somebody, and that is an assault. That's exactly what happened to poor Mike Adam with his crazy neighbor. The neighbor's up in his face and carrying on like a lunatic. Mike pushed him out of the way. That's assault. So nobody in their right mind, there might have been a question about whether it was indecent, because was there a sexual component to this? And I'm going to tell you what my thoughts are, and you guys can certainly come to your own conclusions. But without a doubt, an assault took place, given the fact of how he was touching this woman. But their argument is she wanted it. Defense position was, oh, she asked for it. She wanted it. You see, this is some serious ish. Because when it's a more serious offense, of rape or groping or whatever, y'all still making up excuses that women wanted it. So they called him boorish, unwelcome, unlawful touching. For complaint number 2, sucking and biting on her. And they said that any right-thinking individuals would conclude that this was an indecent assault. Well, they never even got to think about that because the case basically got thrown out for other reasons. For procedural reasons, because you can't even get the process right. Complainant number 1, they said in the case of this person, she was trying to pull away from an uncomfortable hug, and he kissed her on the shoulder and said something to the effect of, "See your husband there. If he saw this, he wouldn't like it." They say it was caught on camera, and although there was video, my apologies, there was no audio. This person diplomatically tried to get him to leave the event, but she was unsuccessful in doing so. Complainant number 2 received what the prosecution called a love bite or a hickey on her arm or hand. And whilst that was not caught on video because that was a blind spot of the CCTV camera footage at the Ritz-Carlton, she actually walked up and showed the mark to complainant number 1, not having known the complainant number 1 just had an episode with him. This is very, very interesting. And apparently there were shallow teeth marks or teeth impressions, and complainant number 1 was able to make a sketch of those in her police statement of what that looked like. Prosecution said this type of behavior may not be uncommon, and some women may put up with it, but that doesn't mean that it's right and it's lawful. It still is an unlawful act. They go on to say an influential man should know that a woman might take offense to it. And they say these are the summary of events. And they're going to walk the jury through the prosecution bundle and the witnesses. And they started to call witnesses then by the second day. And they did, again, what's called best evidence. What is it? The ABE, which is the best evidence video, right? Where they do an interview shortly after the incident. I'm going to say some general things, and then I'm going to get into what the witnesses actually said. We're not going to touch on any of the legal arguments because apparently I don't understand why there's some sort of gag order in relation to those, even now. So we're not going to get into that, but I'm going to talk about what the witnesses said and some thoughts around that. And there's a lot of legal arguments here. And ultimately, one of those legal arguments won, right? So this is interesting. And I think that what you should understand is that everyone has a different perception of something when it happens. You know, you and I can be looking at the same situation, and I see one thing, and you see something else, and you interpret it in a different way. And sometimes, quite frankly, it comes down to our life experiences, who we are, where we are in our life, and what we're willing to accept and what we're not willing to accept. And I have to tell you that what I saw here was that these two complainants were very, very different individuals. And I think that that bears mentioning. But in law, I want y'all to be very, very clear, still clear now. In law, there is a general principle that you take your victim as you find them. What that means is even if, say somebody commits a robbery and that victim was a heart patient, they just had heart surgery a couple weeks ago, and that person ends up dying of a heart attack, you can't go and argue the case that that person died of a heart attack because they were heart patient, and that ain't got nothing to do with you. The law has well established for a very, very long time that you take your victim as you find them. So even when your victims have peculiar things about them, weaknesses about them, and you cause them to have further injuries because you're in the commission of a crime, then you take your victim as you find them. And that's going to be your business. Okay? So we have George here saying, respect the court's decision and move on. George, please come out of the comment section. It's not 10:30 yet, so I'm not going to tell you what I really think of your comment. This has nothing to do with respecting the court. This is about explaining to people, because we've not been able to discuss this case at all, explaining to people what happened throughout the trial. So you, John, come lately, George Bodden, whoever you are, please go sit down in the back of the classroom and do your best to pay attention, because you're not paying attention. If you are a regular listener to this show, instead of a troll coming on here today, you would understand that we discuss cases all the time, and I break them down to people all the time. And we've not been permitted to do that with this case, and we're doing so now that it is over. So please shut up. That's as nice as I can say it before 10:30. If you want the unfiltered version, stick around, George, until 10:31, and you'll get it. Okay. Let's move on, shall we? Very good. All right, honey chill, honey chillin', y'all paying attention? So you take your victim as you find them, and I think that one of the things that was very, very obvious from this situation is that these were very, very different victims. There's an accident, by the way. I'm assuming this is the Linford. They said new roundabout. I'm assuming that's the Linford Pearson. A truck and a car have collided. And so proceed with caution. If you've not yet made it into work, be ready for that, honey child. Okay. All right. Okay. So be cautious. Accident. All right. Let's keep moving. So what happened with the first complainant is that apparently he kissed her on the shoulder twice. Another civil servant was there in the vicinity. And it was really interesting during her ABE, her interview, some of the things that she said. She says, I feel like I shouldn't have to be here. And I think that victims probably feel that way a lot. And it's almost like they're tethering on blaming themselves for the situation that they're in and really accepting that, you know what, this isn't your fault. This is this other person's fault. But look at where they put you, having to go through all of this, having your name all over the Cayman community, dragged all over the place, and in court, everybody knows who these people are. Let's just be very crystal clear. If you don't know, that means that you just don't know what's going on in Cayman. Yeah? And I think she's right. Like, you shouldn't have to be in this situation. Let me tell y'all something. I think most women can relate to this. We've all been in situations, excuse me, but I'm going to have a little breakfast here this morning. We've all been in situations where people have touched us and we didn't want them to touch us. We didn't want them whispering things in our ears. We didn't want them grabbing your hand a particular way. And we all deal with these situations differently. And a lot of it depends on where you are in your life, even where you are at the time that it's happening, the event, right? And also how you were raised and how you were brought up. That environment, that structure is extremely important. So for example, Caribbean women, we have accepted to a large part, and it's not just Caribbean women, but that we're going to be objectified by men, that we are sexual objects. You can't even walk the street without people catcalling you, hissing at you, looking at you with their nasty, googly eyes, right? Undressing you with their eyes, sexualizing you. Hi. Just even the way sometimes they want to say good morning. Good morning. Oh, catcalling. Listen, you have to make a concerted effort in this jurisdiction in particular to really put a stop to this kind of behavior. Seriously. So, you know, I'm gonna talk about that because I think part of it is important when we look at complainant number 2, who kind of didn't have the same reaction to someone sucking on her hand and giving her a hand hickey. I think that we have to teach young girls who will grow up to be young women and middle-aged women and older women that there are certain types of behavior that should not be accepted from anyone. Okay? You do not put your mouth on people. To me, that is personal. I don't want you putting your mouth or your lips on me like that. Okay? It's not acceptable. Now, there are European people, and I have friends who are Italian and European, and they have a greeting where they'll like kiss you on each, that is very different. That's not somebody coming and kissing you and sucking you on your shoulder at this type of event. And there's certain people you don't have that kind of relationship with. And I'm going to tell you something that I kind of found was interesting is really and truly, it seems like this young lady has had contact with Mr. Bush, the accused, before. They stopped her in her evidence from saying it, but she was going to say it, that this is not the first time with him. Take it or leave it, honey child. I'm just telling you what came out in court. So this is someone who was like, you know what? I've had enough. And she said it. She said, maybe if this has happened at a bar, I wouldn't have done anything about it. She was even sure. She went on to say, I have a daughter. And if I don't speak out now, when will I speak up? Right? When people keep doing this kind of stuff to you, you're at work trying to be a professional, and you have some sloppy drunk coming up to you allegedly and doing this stuff. At what point do you start to say, you know what? I don't want this kind of behavior. I'm trying to work. I'm trying to be a professional here. Can y'all just leave me alone and let me just be a professional? Anyway, there was something that she said that really stood out for me, and this kind of hit hard when she said, before, because they kept questioning her, why did you wait a couple days to come forward, blah, 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 blah. I mean, it's so ridiculous to me, because I think by now, any and everybody knows that victims have to process what has happened to them, right? When you are assaulted, even just somebody trying to hit you on the street, you are in a state of shock. Like, you're like, what the WTF just happened? Right? And it takes you a minute to be like, huh? This happened? This venue, this place, in front of a police officer, in front of other civil servants, in front of protocol people, it's like your mind is like, you almost second guess and question yourself. Did this really happen? We heard later on from the complainant's husband, who was like, he saw change in her behavior the days after. It's like almost like she went into a state of depression, lying in bed, not wanting to come out of bed. I mean, I really felt for her when I heard these additional details. You see, y'all aren't privy to these details, and this is one of the reasons why y'all should try to go to court more often and listen instead of jumping to conclusions, which is Cayman's favorite pastime. Go to court and listen to what actually is going on. So she said before, this is in her interview, I wasn't brave enough and I wasn't smart enough. And I was reduced to feeling like a little girl. I want every single woman to think about this for a second. Let me read it again. Okay. And this is a little bit of the complainant blaming herself for not having done anything in the past. Before, I wasn't brave enough and I wasn't smart enough. And I was reduced to feeling like a little girl. You know what that made me think of? I mean, this really kind of hurt me, to be honest. And it made me think of the fact that little girls, unfortunately, we've raised little girls to have no control over their bodies, to have no say about their environment. People abuse and molest. We've been talking about it all week. People abuse and molest little girls, and they can't do anything about it. When she said, I was reduced to feeling like a little girl, wow. That really hurts, to be honest. I wasn't brave enough. I wasn't smart enough. And I want to say to this person this morning that really and truly, it's not you, and it's not that you weren't brave enough in the past or smart enough, but everyone has to come to their own time, right? So you have to do things when you are ready. So maybe in the past, for whatever reason, you were not ready to take the stand that you needed to for yourself. And I'm going to say even for other people. Don't beat yourself up because in the past, other people have done this to you, or maybe even worse, and you did nothing about it. She says, I wasn't brave enough and smart enough. I thought to myself, wow, that's so sad. Very, very sad. These types of cases, if you're a person with even half a heart, you walk away really feeling heavy about the whole situation. And, you know, it's hard to hear somebody, essentially they themselves, blame themselves for when things happen. Well, I can tell you, young lady, that you might feel like you weren't brave enough or smart enough in the past, but for you to come forward, even in this situation, and stand against the Goliath of all Goliaths in this community, the person who so many people believe is untouchable, makes up for whatever else has happened in your past where you thought that you were not brave enough and you were not smart enough. Just taking a stand this one time, in my opinion, cancels out all of that. You are brave and you are smart. And so the outcome is not what you would have liked, but you stood up. Nobody should be kissing you on your shoulder and drunken lips all over you. Listen, I'm going to have some words from Mr. Bush here in a second, because I know he all up in his feelings, upset with me, and he wanted ask me if I care. If it was 10:30, I'd say it another way. But truly, truly ask me if I care. She was asked if she was forced. She said no. This is another interesting point. Because some people don't believe. And when it comes to complainant number 2, I think this is very, very interesting. Some of the things that she said. There are people who still believe that if you are not forced to do something, yeah? If somebody doesn't hold you down with force or put a gun to your house in order to sexually assault you or whatever, that it isn't really an assault. There are people out there who still believe this. Oh, no, that can't be an assault. He didn't use force, did he? There's no force that's required. In fact, there's no malice that's required. So complaint number 2 is like, oh, he didn't mean to do it. Okay. It doesn't require malice to hurt you. He didn't want to hurt me. I suppose there might be instances where you might have been with someone who wasn't capable of meaning to hurt you and they still end up killing you. That's still some form of manslaughter or murder, depending on the level of intent that the prosecution can prove. That doesn't mean that you get to walk out scot-free just because you didn't mean to do it. When she was asked the question about why she waited, she also said that at first she was still processing it. Then she started to cry in the interview. And she explained that one day, shortly thereafter, she was actually in the bathroom combing her hair. And in that moment, she decided that she was going to give a police statement and pursue it with the police. I imagine that things happen to you and it does take a minute to process it. And sometimes it hits you like in the most odd places. Have we not all been there where you're like in the shower, right? And you're having a shower and your mind is like, you're trying to just be free. Imagine the water just running on in the shower. And all of a sudden you go, oh my God, I need to do something about this situation. She spoke of the other complainant showing her bite marks and teeth marks. The defense said, oh, but we're just talking about 3 minutes worth of footage, mere minutes. And I found that to be a little bit disrespectful because, listen, somebody can assault you in a second. I mean, it doesn't take, you know what I'm saying? Oh, an assault is going to take hours or, oh, it was just, and this is her tittle-tattle defense attorney. It was just mere minutes, wasn't it? Yeah. And it's like, what is that? That diminishes it somehow because it wasn't prolonged. It wasn't sustained. It was still unwanted touching, is what the victim says. So there was some questions being asked about when he was walking in. She said, in her opinion, she saw him stumbling. He was unsteady on his feet. There was an argument about, oh, well, if he stumbles, that means he fell over. And then she's like, no, maybe that was the wrong choice of words. In the initial interview, I wasn't really saying that he was falling over, but it seems like he was unsteady on his feet. This is the defense now coming in asking these questions and says, well, objective assessment, he wasn't stumbling, was he? He didn't fall over. No, that's not what I meant. So she kind of wrangled her a bit on that. Are you aware of his medical issues? The complainant was like, no, why would I know his medical issues? Well, do you know he's got 2 bad knees and he's got a bad disc in his back? And she's like, okay, but in my opinion, he was still unsteady on his feet. And it had nothing to do with that. It was more to do with the alcohol. Now, what is interesting? What is so interesting? I want to get the footage. I wish the complainant number 1 would not object to the footage being released. Because, you see, this is where I'm sitting there and I'm like, oh God, some days I wish I could practice law. Because on cross-examination, and maybe we just never got to it. I don't know if the prosecution would have ever pointed it out, right? His defense is he's got 2 arthritic knees, got arthritis, got a bad disc and whatever. And guess what? He comes walking into the Ritz-Carlton with no support. You know this cane that he been walking around with? No cane in hand. He come waddling in just perfectly fine without a cane. So if you're someone who's claiming, oh, woe is me, I got such a bad back, I got a bad disc, and I got arthritic knees, and only now do I need a cane, why weren't you using a cane then? Since you claim that that's going to explain why you're waddling around like a walrus. I'm just saying. Clear as day. on the camera, not a keen in sight, but yet you have two arthritic knees. I would have been like, really? Madam, the defense just said to you, if you knew his medical history, and he has arthritis, and if you knew that, on the night in question, let's look at the video again. Did you see this arthritic bad back man walking in with a cane? Look at the video. Nope. No support, no cane, no nothing. Let's carry on then. See, that question never came up in cross. I'm just saying. She went on to say how in the Caribbean, we're super friendly people, right? Oh, we believe in hugging each other. And do you not accept this? Okay, yeah. I mean, but there is a hug, and then there is a hug. There's a difference. There's different types of hugs. Do we not all know this? Like, there are people who can walk up to me that actually just shake my hand. If we're gonna do a hug, it's gonna be a very, like, you can tell my body's out here, and we can just do a little pat like this. It's not like we're not gonna do a bear hug. We're not gonna get in there. And there are other people, when I hug them, yes, it's a true embrace. There are different types of hugs depending on the individual and how you relate to them and how you know them. And some of y'all be walking around drunk and don't know the difference of when you need to let go. And in fact, complainant number 2 actually said that when she hugged him, this was too long of a hug. Huh? She was uncomfortable. Let me situate my little chair here now. Hold on. So she admits to being uncomfortable by the very hug that she got before the mark on the hand. That sets the tone. For everything else, folks, that is going to follow. So diminishing the hugs that and the greetings that we have in the Caribbean, I thought is so interesting. Trying to make it sound like we all go around sucking on each other and hugging each other for a little bit too long with your sloppiness. Let me say this, folks. If you don't know me by now, under no circumstances, if you're a man or even a woman, should you come up to me and put your lips on me in any way, shape, or form. Because my position now, and after you see how these cases turn out, my position now is I have a right to defend myself against such behavior, because the courts and the police apparently are not going to do a very good job of doing so. I am going to punch you in your face or kick you in the nuts. Understood? Don't do it to me. You've been warned. I do not care if you are the Speaker of the House, heaven forbid, the Premier of this country, or whomever. You're not my husband. You're not, and no, just don't do it. Okay? Women out there, y'all need to pay attention. Unfortunately, the system really don't look like it's going to support you that much. So in your mind, you have got to have a game plan of how you're going to respond to this behavior. Here's part of the problem. When you have someone working an event, and this was a fair point that really needed to be made, that person is in a very different mindset. And so they even brought up about how she had her hand on his back as though she was overly friendly with him. You see how the victim blaming slides in there? Oh, well, why would you have your hand on his back? You're obviously inviting this. You're inviting him to kiss you on the shoulder. And she's like, no, I was actually trying to get him to leave, right? So this is a thing, women, and we do it all the time. And again, it comes back to how we have been raised. This point is going to come up with complainant number 2 in a very, very strong way. We have been raised that it is our obligation as women to control men, Huh? Even when they are harming us and they are potentially assaulting us, it is our responsibility to be nice to them, to placate them, to try to calm them down. And that is completely wrong. But I understand it. I understand where that thinking comes from in our society. That's how we've been raised. Okay? Even when someone is making you uncomfortable and they're doing stuff to you, you still be nice to them. You pat them on the back, right? You hold their hand, not because you want to, but because you feel like you have no choice and you're trying to keep them calm. Because if they don't remain calm, somehow that's your fault. Crazy. So on cross-examination, the prosecution asked the question, why did you change your mind? Because what the defense was claiming, CMR's name kept coming up. Oh, CMR put up a post about a senior civil servant or senior politician at this CTO event, blah, blah, blah. And the argument, you could see where it was going, had it ever gotten to that point, is that, oh, you really didn't have an issue with this, did you? You only had an issue with this because CMR put it up, which is absolutely stupid. I mean, I don't even know where this type of thing comes out. I'm going to show you all the posts. Hold on one second. And they kept bringing this up and bringing it up. And she even, the defense attorney, Miss Sally, even went as far as saying, oh, you know, Mall Road, this tittle-tattle gossip paper. For her. What a mess. Here's the post she kept referring to. As though my post is going to make someone who nothing happened to all of a sudden go, oh my God, something did happen to me. Let's not be stupid here. But that's where they were going. That was going to be the argument. So here's a post back on September 13th. Caymanian politician was escorted out of the CTO reception at the Ritz-Carlton Tuesday evening after drinking and getting touchy with the civil servant. Please say it ain't so. So this is the post that they claim. Yeah? Changed everything. And I guess the conspiracy must be that we were trying to set Sam R. was trying to set McKeeva up. Matt, you hold on because I got some words of wisdom for you. Soon come. So she responded and said that although she was about to say Mr. Bush and men like him have done this to her in the past. She's had situations with him in the past. They stopped her from saying that to the jury. And she had to say it more generally and said, having been subjected to this kind of behavior in the past, I felt like it was time to stand up for myself. She said that she was trying very hard to stop him. That's why her hand was on his back and to keep him in that space, as opposed to him going any further into the event to embarrass himself, her minister, and the Cayman Islands government. Now, I thought it was so interesting. This goes back to this point, and I'm going to pick it up again with complainant. Well, I guess she wasn't really the complainant, but witness number 2, who got a hickey in her hand or whatever that was supposed to be, is that these people were more concerned about, oh my God, this is going to make Cayman look bad. This is going to make the government, my minister, this event, even in the moment. And there's something to be said for this. I really wish the prosecution had picked up on this, right? Whilst the defense is claiming there's some big conspiracy theory, the truth of the matter is that even in the moment, they were trying to protect everybody else from Mr. Bush being sloppy and causing another scene at an event in the Cayman Islands. Because, dare we say, this is certainly not the first time. So they were concerned about all these other people. They weren't even thinking about themselves. And that is why, quite frankly, it took a minute, in my opinion, for all of this to sink in terms of what happened to her personally. She had been working the CTO event all year. It was like the first big hosting event post-COVID. Hundreds of people from all over the region, all over the world. I attended some of the events, so I know. I was at the all-day event that day. So I know exactly what I'm talking about. There's a lot of work that went into this. In fact, some of the staff ended up staying at the Ritz-Carlton that night. They had booked a room to stay there because they knew that they'd be too tired to even go back home and to drive home. So they were exhausted mentally, physically, everything. And then having to, on top of it, process what just happened to me. What is this? Let's take a quick commercial break.
13th of April at Festival Green, Camana Bay. Get ready to experience the culinary capital of the Caribbean. To support local restaurants. To celebrate Cayman heritage. To feel the rhythm and dance the night away with family and friends. Get ready to taste. Get your tickets online now. Visit tasteofcayman.org.
All right, folks. So there's something to be said for keeping a lot of this in context, right? Even the second person who, as it turns out, didn't want to be there, she didn't think that Mr. Bush committed an offense. I mean, I think it's interesting because I'm not really sure that everybody understands when an offense has been committed. And really and truly, you don't have to, even as a victim, you don't have to know or understand if an offense was committed. That's the prosecution and the police's job. And then ultimately, if it's jury trial or judge trial, they will decide if an offense is actually committed. But in the end, the case actually got thrown out because of how she was brought to court. But what was interesting and why I think it was necessary for them to get her thrown out and get her case thrown out is because despite her not thinking that what he did to her was a crime, she actually corroborated independently aspects of the first complainant's story that needed to be corroborated. So let me tell you what I mean by this. She said that when she saw Mr. Bush, so we saw her AB interview, he was sitting down and he was swaying in his chair and he had a drink of some kind. She couldn't say what kind of drink, but he had a drink in his hand that was swaying and spilling all over the place, AKA he was drunk. Yeah? That's the conclusion that any sensible person would have gathered from that. Remember what I just said to you all? The excuse for him walking in like a walrus all over the place and being unsteady on his feet was not because he was drunk, but because, oh, you don't know that the man has medical issues. He's got two bad arthritic knees. This was what the defense was claiming. And he also has a bad back. Okay. So if that was true, why would the other person who doesn't want to be there, who likes Mr. McKeeva, who thinks Mr. McKeeva is a super intelligent man, why would she be saying that he was swaying in his chair like he was drunk? Answer the question. Let me take another commercial break.
The date for Red Sky at Night. March 2nd, 4 p.m. to 11 p.m. The grounds of the Hartwell Theatre will come alive for Cayman's premier multicultural arts festival. Enjoy delicious local food, watch music, dance, and theatre performances. Check out dozens of artisans selling their beautiful art, crafts, jewelry, and accessories. And visit the Caymanian Village. Tickets $10 for adults and $5 for kids and seniors. Purchase yours today at ticketplus.ky or at the gate on event day. Don't miss Red Sky at Night, March 2nd.
All right, folks, Instagram, you guys are back. I saw it just dropped out again. So ask yourself this question then, okay? How is it that you have two different women. In one case, he's sitting down and she talks about this behavior of swaying and spilling your drink. That's nothing to do with arthritic knees. So arthritic knees and a bad back when you're sitting down makes you sway and spill your drink? I don't think so. So you see why without this testimony, a jury's just left with one person complaining who doesn't know that he has a bad back and arthritic knees. And oh no, he wasn't drunk. He just is an old man who can barely walk and uses a cane, but just wasn't using it that night. It don't make no sense. Swaying his head was how she described it. She also went on to say, I may not have been as concerned before I was a civil servant. So in my mind, this is someone who's probably seen this behavior a lot from men in her life and was like, oh, you know, this is just how men are. We become very, very accepting of bad behavior around us. And some of us, unfortunately, don't think about it for a second. She said that he hugged her and grabbed her a little bit too closely. Wouldn't let me leave. These are some of the phrases that she used in her testimony. Wouldn't let me leave. Now listen carefully to this based on what I said earlier about how women are trained to deal with men. I just needed to ensure he didn't get aggressive. Say what? I just needed to ensure he didn't get aggressive. Because as women, we are trained that it is our job to ensure that men don't get aggressive with us. That's our job. It's not their job to keep their temper in check. That's our job. I just needed to ensure he didn't get aggressive. She goes on to say, I was very sweet and smiling and didn't want him to get aggressive. Women, you are taught to be sweet and smiling, even in the face of danger, even in the face of some sloppy, drunk politician who's going to be in a minute sucking on your hand like he's a stingray. You are trained to be sweet, smiling, and trying to stop him from becoming aggressive. This is a problem. Women, listen to me. There is nothing wrong with you becoming assertive. Don't confuse it with aggression when you are at risk of any kind of assault. Okay? I don't go out there. I've never had a fight in my adult life, and I still haven't had one. Defending yourself does not constitute a fight. You have a right to defend yourself. And if you have to get assertive to defend yourself, even if that means knocking the other person out right in front of a police officer, you have got to be prepared to do so. Don't be sitting back talking about you're going to be sweet and smiling. The time for that is not when you're under attack, folks. No time to be sweet and smiling in these types of circumstances. But unfortunately, as women, this is how we have been trained. Be sweet and smiling. Well, she said I was very sweet and smiling and didn't want him to get aggressive. She described him as being odd and creepy. Yes, uncomfortable. Thinking, and in fact, she eventually went over and showed other people her hand, which to me is like, why would you show other people your hand if after the fact you actually didn't think the man really did anything wrong? It's a very odd set of conclusions. And said, quote, am I the only one that noticed that the speaker is not in good shape at all? I think he's drunk. And I think he just gave me a hickey in my hand. Really? Prosecution tried to ask the question because she was saying, yeah, but he didn't mean to do it. Da, da, da. So people just go around giving you hickeys on your hand and don't mean to do it? Of course, the defense stopped her from answering the question. It's a good question, though. It's a good question. Is it okay for men to be taking your hand and sucking it to the point where you have teeth marks and a hickey on it, a mark. And that's cool? That's okay? Is that what we're doing here? The Speaker of the House can go around sucking on people? And you don't think that that is assault? Huh? What a hot mess. Anyway. And she said, somebody else looked at her and said, oh my God, that looks like teeth marks on your hand. And she said, teeth indentations on my hand. She said, oh, this is bizarre. She kept saying in her police interview, this is bizarre. This is bizarre. This is bizarre. I'm like, well, that's one word for it, honey child. She also described, despite the fact that she didn't want to be there, that she was hiding from Mr. Bush, hiding behind a pillar, right? What are you hiding from the man for? I was like, well, if you didn't think anything really was wrong here, why would you be hiding from him? You know, it's like your brain is telling you something is definitely wrong here and this isn't right. And at the same time, apparently, your other half of your brain is telling you what? There's nothing wrong here, to just go with the flow, be nice, be sweet, and everything is going to be a-okay. It's bizarre. I got to tell you that I found the statements and sort of the contradictions in what was being said to actually be quite bizarre myself. And so I was like confused when I was listening to the evidence, because there are things that are being said that indicated one thing to me, and then conclusions in the live testimony that were kind of saying something totally different. So you're hiding behind a pillar, looking around. People are trying to get him to leave, right? And in fact, for upwards of an hour or so, it was argued that people are trying to get Mr. Bush to leave, and he would not leave. They even called CG, because you know he has certain handlers when he gets in trouble. People like Richard, Parchment, CG. That's his inner circle that they call. Klein Glidden. So they say, please come and get Mac. Come out of your bed or whatever you were doing at home this time of night and come and get McKeeva, because he's slopping. He's going to get himself in trouble again. She also said that she tends to be a person who has a delayed response, which I thought once again was an interesting choice of words, because essentially we heard the first complainant kind of say the exact same thing. Like she needed time to process this. This person says that that's actually her personality. She has a delayed response. But she said, even in real time, she thought it was bizarre. And in her words, I started to get concerned. She said, I told my husband, I think the Speaker of the House actually bit me. This is the most bizarre thing that has ever happened to me. Her words, not mine. The most bizarre thing that has ever happened to you. And you tell your husband. Now, wives, you all know this. Regardless of how strong we think we are, when something has happened, you know you're really concerned about it. When you see your husband, you're like, something happened. By the way, complaint number 1 also said, something happened with McKeeva tonight. I'll tell you about it later, because, you know, she's at work. She tells her husband what happens. He's like, what the? I'm going to go beat McKeeva up. And he actually messages Mac on WhatsApp and says, what? I'm going to summarize what he said. But he's basically like, what is wrong with you? Why would you do this to my wife? You owe her an apology. He probably wanted to say, I'm going to come West Bay and kick your behind right now. You're fat. Okay. Anywho, is it 10:30 yet? Oh, Lord. Oh, God. Anyway, she says she tends to be the type of person who has a delayed response to stuff. And, you know, she says it's the most bizarre thing that has ever happened to me. I'm thinking, wow. She said she told her bosses about what happened. She went on to say it's inappropriate And it's a risk where government is concerned. So she talked about how smart she thought Mr. Bush was. Oh, he's such an intelligent man. I'm going to question that at 10:30, but anywho, he's such an intelligent man, because intelligent men don't do this kind of thing. Let me be very, very clear. They're not stupid. This type of behavior is stupid, lowball behavior. This is not intelligence. But anywho, he's an intelligent man. Every time I see him, he's always asking about my mom. You could tell that she has a particular relationship with Mr. Bush where there was a lot of affinity there. In other words, this is someone that she liked. She likes Mr. Bush as a person. Yeah? Okay. And yet, this is the most bizarre thing that has ever happened to you. You feel the need to tell your bosses right away. She said it's inappropriate. It's a risk where government is concerned, but I'm not sure if this is a crime. So in her ABE, that's the interview they do right afterwards, she says, I'm not sure if this is a crime. And then she goes on to eventually say that I shouldn't be here. This isn't a crime. He didn't mean it. This, that, and the next thing. So conclusions were drawn later on that I find to be a little bit contradictory to what was actually said right after the interview. Interesting. Okay. She said that I'm not sure it's a crime to be a drunk old dude that puts a hickey on someone's hand. Well, if they had ever really gotten to the point of it and asked her, was she welcoming him to put a hickey in her hand? Is that what you actually wanted? I felt, again, a quote, a sense of, should I have done something afterwards? But there were all these people there. I needed to make sure that I was okay. You know how much this sounds like victims who are assaulted all the time? She didn't think that she was a victim. She didn't think that an assault had happened, but yet she is very much speaking like a victim. She's saying things that victims say all the time. I have to make sure that I'm okay. What just happened to me? Is this a crime? Victims go through that thought process all the time. Is it possible that people are victims and they do not even recognize that they are a victim, because we have managed to brainwash women in this community for far too long? That in order for you to know that you're a victim, you have to have a violent episode of like full-blown sexual assault and rape for you to go like, oh my God, I'm now a victim. So the more subtle forms of assault and indecency against you, you are willing to pass as he didn't mean to do it. He's not a crime. It's a little bit interesting to say the least, right? She went on to say that there's a look that people get when they are intoxicated. And he had that glassy look. She said on every other occasion throughout her entire life that she'd known Mr. Bush, every time he would ask for her mom, how's your mom doing, blah, 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 blah. On this occasion, she found it odd that he never asked for her mother. Initially, he didn't even seem to know who she was because of the alcohol. He didn't seem to know who she was. She said he had some idea of who I was, but didn't know exactly who I was in the moment. This is her quote. And eventually, he kind of was like, oh yeah, didn't you do this for me? Oh yeah, okay, that must be who you is. Okay. She said this was the only time that he's ever spoken to me and never asked me how my mother was. That's an indication of his state of mind for sure. He hugged me a little longer than was comfortable. I tried to move myself in a position so there was less contact. The thing about drunk people, her words again, the thing about drunk people is that you don't want them to get angry. You just try to extricate as easily as possible. So in other words, you just try to get away from them, which is what she was trying to do. She went on to talk about how she's a married woman. And maybe in her later years, she was seen as a little bit, I forget what the term was that she used, but almost like, maybe I was out there dating and I was like a little bit flighty and whatever. But I'm a married woman. I'm a 54-year-old married woman. And I take my marriage very, very seriously. I don't have time for this. I'm a mother. I've got a teenage daughter and I've got kids. I'm trying to get them ready for university. I have 14 jobs. I'm a very busy person. I don't have time for this. And in my mind, you know what I was hearing? I was hearing, you don't have time to be a victim? Is that what you're saying? I don't have time for what? You don't have time to give the police statement because you didn't want to be there, or you don't have time to be victimized by him? I wasn't really quite sure because she didn't expound on it exactly what she didn't have time for. She says, but then she goes on to say this, which puts it in proper context. I don't have time for creepy old men to be grabbing at me. So in other words, she didn't have time for Mr. McKeeva Bush trying to hug her, trying to kiss her, trying to give her a hickey in her hand, whatever the heck it was that he was doing. I don't have time for creepy old men to be grabbing at me. He sucked on my hand, which is terribly uncomfortable. Lines he shouldn't have crossed. She said she started heading towards other people to block him. And she was not aware that anything else had happened to anybody else, meaning the first complainant. She didn't take a picture of her hand. She said he shouldn't be drunk in public like that, and he shouldn't be groping people. I'm in a committed relationship. I've taken this seriously. It was disheartening. What did I do? She asked the question, what did I do? Folks, this is so classic of victims. Victims blame themselves. What did I do? Why is it that you think you did something to deserve this? You think it's your fault? Why Mr. Bush walked in there that night drunk and sloppy? You think it's your fault why he was hugging you for a little bit longer than you were comfortable with? You think it's your fault that eventually he put a hickey on your hand? But that's what she said. What did I do? Wow. But still not fully appreciating it, she goes on to say, this was a violation of what the Speaker of the House should be doing. It desecrates that. Listen, she doesn't say it's a violation of her. She says it's a violation of what the Speaker of the House should be doing. It desecrates that, meaning it desecrates that position. Interesting choice of words about how he was swaying and drinking and sloshing all around. He wasn't his sober self. He was kind of incoherent. Again, these are direct quotes from her testimony. She says all of it was odd and surreal and a bit shocking. She then talks about after it happened, at one point he was asking her about her husband. And, it's so interesting because, again, in my mind, it was really important for the defense to not have her on the stand and not have her ABE entered in as evidence because it was too close and corroborated what the first complainant said. The first complainant said he made remarks about her husband being there that night. He did the same thing to the second complainant. So they were trying to discredit the first complainant by saying, but he wouldn't have seen your husband. Even when they put the husband on stand, where were you? Oh, you were all the way down the other way of 120-foot plus hallway at the Ritz-Carlton. There was no way that McKeeva Bush could have physically seen you. So therefore, he never said that to her. Aha, interesting defense. But here you have another witness who comes and essentially says the exact same thing about two really, really important things. Number one, the conclusion that he was drunk, the behavior around that. And number two, he also asked her about her husband. What are the chances that two women who knew nothing about what happened to each other are both going to say, this man was asking me about my husband in some form or another? And in fact, this particular witness said, she said to him, oh, yes, I have to go because my husband is downstairs packing up the car. And he said, oh, no, he's not. Why are you lying to me? Your husband isn't here. So when I heard that, I thought to myself, you know how some people try to pick him out? Like, oh, yeah, where's your husband? If he saw me doing this, what would he think? Where is he? They want to see if you're alone that night so they can continue making their moves. Because if your husband not packing the car up downstairs or he's not 100 feet down the hallway, no one is going to be here to rescue you, right? Because nobody else around here cares. All the other civil servants around here, they're oblivious to what's going on. The entire protocol team, they're oblivious. Right? Another member of the government communications team, she wrote a statement, well, I don't know what's going on. I have no clue about Mr. Bush. He didn't try nothing with me, so I don't care. Kind of an attitude. And this is what has given people passes their entire lives. This is pretty disturbing. But yet you have two totally unconnected people who both say, he asked me about my husband. Why are you asking people about their husband for? All the women listening to me right now, you know that you're in a social setting and a man trying to make a move on you. He doesn't mention your husband because he cares anything about your husband. He is asking to see if you are there alone. Oh, if your husband saw me now kissing on your neck, what would he have to say? Is he here? Is he going to come to your rescue? He should have come and knock your friggin' lights out is what he should have done. But everybody trying to be polite, because that is certainly, as the defense said, that's the Caymanian way. You guys are a bit extra polite, aren't you? Don't you give each other hugs? And that's just the Caribbean and the island vibe. Yes, someone can come and grope you on your panani, and you would have no issue with it because, oh gosh, no, it's quite all right. It's just pleasantries. Don't you guys do this all the time? You're going to sit down and have some curried chicken and allow this man to fill up your breastises, and there's no problem. You walk around in grass skirts, don't you? Okay. What a hot mess. All of it was odd and surreal and a bit shocking. Damien says, wow, these are predator moves. I think every woman. Yes, the very definition of Caymankind. I was waiting for it to say this. Isn't this Caymankind? That you all assault each other and there's no problem with it. Like, really? What's the problem? Can I come and kiss you on your neck now on the witness stand? Ugh, my sinuses are starting to act up. Let me take a little break, honey child. Coming right back.
Hey, K-Man. Y'all already know we have the best wings at Popeyes. You made ghost pepper our top sellers, and then you did the same with sweet and spicy. Well, get your taste buds ready, because we are expanding our flavor range. We've added honey barbecue, roasted garlic parmesan, and signature hot. You can choose to sauce our mild wings, or the bravest of you can even sauce on top of our ghost pepper wings. The wing game is over. 5 new flavors with K-Man's favorite chicken, only at Popeyes on Eastern Avenue.
Ocean Ridge Heights offers an amazing opportunity to own a piece of land in idyllic Cayman Brac, right on the bluff, starting from $80,000. Located in a quiet residential area with high elevation, these lots are ideal for a future home or investment property and are sure to go fast. Cayman Brac offers a laid-back lifestyle, amazing pristine diving, limestone caves, diverse flora, along with amazing wildlife. Inquire about the owner financing options so that you can secure your piece of paradise today. With only a few lots remaining, these are sure to go before you know it. Contact Crichton Properties today on 345-949-5250 or info@crichtonproperties.com.
Recover Personal Injury Attorneys, helping injured people get what they deserve. Did you know that insurance companies have lawyers that represent their interests? Before signing and accepting any settlement, know your rights. Call us today for a free consultation at 924-9999. That's 924-9999. Recover. Your personal injury attorneys are on standby to assist.
In the mornings, no one wants to miss listening to the Cold Hard Truth or reading CMR. Cayman's #1 news platform has made your morning commute fun again. Pass this time with the Cold Hard Truth on weekdays from 7:30 a.m. Talk radio that's engaging, entertaining, and enlightening. But be careful. Some mornings it's so hot, you might run into a bit of trouble.
All right, folks. What a hot mess. Yep. You know, is it just me? Or do the English have a certain way of saying things that seems to... I was saying this to Wendy Ledger in court. I'm like, even when they're fighting with each other, like the two attorneys, they do it and they come across as so pleasant with it. I can only imagine what that royal family must really be like, honey Jim. They be cursing each other out, but not really, because they sound so pleasant with it. Oh, darling, I just can't stand you at the moment. Oh, darling, I want to murder you too. And it's like, you're like, are they really upset with each other? I'm not quite sure. Oh, pardon me, Your Honor, but really and truly, she's being absolutely ridiculous. I'm so offended by that statement. And I'm like, is that an objection? Objection, my lord. And I'm like, what the what? Okay, boy, y'all don't know the Caribbean way of telling each other out, honey child. Wouldn't quite be that, but anywho. So the defense went on to say that she said it was an accident. He accidentally gave her a hickey in her hand. She was, it was a truthful account that it was an accident. She said, yes, she believes that it was an accident. I do not know how somebody gives you, I don't know how somebody accidentally does anything that leaves teeth marks on you, but okay. Y'all say so. I'm going to go around biting people too and say it's an accident. Had no intentions of making a formal complaint to the RCIPS. She never wanted to make a complaint. She didn't want to be there. She said it was appropriate conduct, but not indecent assault. If an incident had occurred that she felt was criminal, she would have called the police. And then they went on and on and on and on. And ultimately, it is her feelings about this that made this trial came to an end. And the fact that the prosecution called her in and forced her to, to testify. That's really what it boiled down to. She said the behavior was not appropriate, but he did not intend to harm me. Okay. I don't know, honey child. The defense neglected to supply certain emails that really showed that she was objecting to being part of this process. And so that is really what caused the case to fall apart. Process is important. And for the sake of the judiciary, I really hope that somebody is reprimanded for this lack of process that took place. You at some point, you need to put blame on people. And some blame needs to be put here right squarely on the DPP's office. They're the legal experts that are supposed to get it right. And they didn't. What a hot mess. Predatory moves. Damien, good morning. Rayanne, what a hot mess. Miss Elaine says, K-Mankind. Oh my God, I can't with you, Miss Sandy, says Siobhan. Damien says, is the ponani an Indian dish? Yes, it's an Indian dish. Do you not know this? Of course the English know that. They know that it's a curry dish. Oh, I've had some ponani. It's an English dish. Okay. Welcome to K-Man, says Rayanne. Helene, good morning. Stuart says, wasn't the judge from Trinidad? I actually don't know where he's from. Hold on. I should be able to tell you, though. Mind you now, he only rules on matters of law. And let me just see now. Is he from Trinidad? I don't even know. I can check. His name is Jones, right? Justice Jones. So he got sworn in with, he was brought in to hear this case. So I don't know where he's from. He could be Caribbean. Well, he was suspicious of everybody up in that court. Are you recording us? I'm like, dude, what? Hey, are you recording? I'm like, sir, calm down. Nobody's over here recording anything. You just need to calm down. If we wanted to record something, you'd never know that we were recording it, sir. We're not that stupid, but we don't. We respect the court rules. And let me see if I can find his where he was sworn in. Let me see here now. Yeah, so he was suspicious of everybody. You can't be recording this. I was like, what? Justice Stanley H.W. Jones has been appointed by the governor on the advice of the Judicial and Legal Services Commission to preside over the trial. I don't know. Does it say where he's from? He's a national of Trinidad. So yes, he is a national of Trinidad. He was sworn in by Her Excellency Governor Owen. So yeah, I don't know how long he's been on the bar, Trinidad and Tobago. He's been long and illustrious career on the bar and on the bench. He was called to the bar in 1972. Oh my gosh. Before I was even born. What a hot mess. How old is he? He's in his 70s, I understand. And not really understanding technology because I was looking at something on the phone. Oh, you recording? I'm like, yo. Justice, back off of me now. Take it easy. Take it easy, honey child. Alejandro says, you sure you're not Caymanian? Oh, Sandy, your British accent on fleek. You think so? I don't think it's particularly good. Matt says, laughing out loud, the British accent gets me. I don't think it's good. Like, I've never really lived in the UK and I don't hang out with a lot of British people. I think if I did, it would definitely be better for sure. Can I get some British friends? Where are they? Maybe I should call the royal family. Can y'all adopt me for a couple months? Let me stay in the palace and then, I can get the accent right. That's what men do when you goes to country and Western, had a single woman look and watch to see if you're there with any man. Oh my God. What? What a hot mess. No, sir. What a hot mess. 1 second. Okay. Yes, 9362626. What do you guys make of this? Teflon Dawn. Siobhan says, I've been died. Yeah, what? Yo, I don't know how she did that. It's wild. What? Oh my gosh. All right, Miss Elaine. Everybody having a good laugh. Lulu says classy. Elaine says me belly. Murder. Leroy says after 10:30. But you know what? Sandy's going to go from a British to Jamaican accent. I can't really do a good Jamaican accent either, I must admit. I just remember we actually have a video to play today from the HSA. Some good information, so make sure you stay tuned for that. We'll play that at about 10:15-ish. We can do that too. We can talk about right to your face and you won't even know it. Only the accent is different, says Cameron. No, son. No, mind. The Brits do it different. They are totally different. Completely different. Trust me. Oh no, Miss Sandy, you going around start biting people and say it's an accident. You sure? Well, I guess I can't do it now if I've said it, right? Let me give Mr. Bush some advice. Mr. Bush, the women that came out to support you, it's all interesting. I think that you need to start, honestly, you need to stop drinking first and foremost, because then people use that as an excuse to explain away your bad behavior. You should never touch alcohol again. At one point, you claimed that, yes, you had a problem. You were trying to drink away the loss of losing your mom and your daughter. Everybody loses people in their lives, and that's certainly no excuse for any of your egregious behavior. But it seems like you got a problem with the bottle. You like to drink, sir, and the drink don't like you. Yes? Stop drinking. Clear out your cupboards at home. No alcohol. Do not go anywhere near alcohol. Okay? In fact, don't even sniff it. That would be the best thing. The best thing for yourself. That is still certainly not an excuse for bad behavior. Listen up, folks. There comes a point in time when you have to comprehend, yes, it is just absolutely ridiculous for an individual to carry on like this, drinking and going on like this in public, doing the most. No, Bobo. I don't understand. You guys say you like Mac. You know, he's the best thing that ever happened to West Bay. He the best. We love him, you know. Yeah, look where he come from. He got a high school education, not even graduate from high school, but look at where he reached in his life. Well, where he's reached in his life is somebody who got an OBE that has been stripped from him. Someone who unfortunately, has really made himself look so bad. Even though you get this reputation, oh, I'm the Teflon Don, I get to walk away, I'm skipping out of here tomorrow, look at me now, I don't need that cane again. You understand that there are people who really respected you at some stage, who had, looked up to you, that now can no longer say that they do look up to you? There's something to be said for people who are incapable of telling Mr. Mac the truth about himself and who he is. In fact, it is really sad, yeah, that this is what he does and what he is known to do. Even the times when these things don't get to court, we have all heard more than enough stories about him to make you pause and go, nobody not just going around randomly making up stuff about McKeeva Bush. No way. Y'all Caymanians too proud of this man with his 9th grade education. Right? No one is going to just make up these stories. There's no conspiracy against you, McKeeva. I want to help you out here. I know you think there's a conspiracy against you. Not even the Brits can come up with a conspiracy against you. Okay? The conspiracy against you is that you don't know that you are your own worst enemy. That's the conspiracy. You're the conspirator. You're plotting against yourself and you don't even recognize it. You don't even know it. How sad is that? And the people that really and truly should be trying to be there for you. They show up. Sadly, they're not showing up with the truth. They're not willing to tell you, Mac, you got a problem with alcohol. You have to stop pretending to be something that you are not. Be committed to sobriety. Be committed to getting help. The things that you could get away with 5, 10, 15 years ago when it comes to touching women in any way, shape, or form, whether it's a violent touch, oh, I like you touch, a hickey in the hand, kissing people on the neck, those things are not acceptable behavior. If he doesn't get it by now, he will never, ever get it. Y'all understand me? And he's going to be in this position again and again and again. Stewart says Bush's behavior is common practice in a country like Trinidad. Why do you think the judge was brought here from there and not from the UK? If he don't get it by now, and those people surrounding him, kissing his big rounded behind, not willing to tell him the truth, it's like, come now. This is it. Elaine says he's also molesting the poor bottle. Well, I tell you what, I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say. You got to cut it out, man. Raymond, good morning, Raymond, says it's kind of ironic. If he can't keep his hands himself with women, it's not going to work with alcohol neither. Poor bottle, can't say no either, and be getting them stingray lips sucking up on it. Shame, shame, shame. Feel bad for the bottle now. Oh, Lord, have mercy. Oh, my God. Leroy said, Matt, come chase me down in his Honda Fit. Lord, have mercy. Nope, just water down truths. Damon says, exactly. That's why not a female judge. Most of the jury were male. No, actually, interestingly enough, initially it was almost an all-female jury until one of them had to leave. So it was 6 women and 1 man. One of them was not able to leave, so one of the alternates was pulled out. And then it was 5 women and 5 women and 2 men. And like I said, one of those men was checked out. He did not want to be there at all. McKeeva, get yourself some help. Because, I was almost there that night, and I don't believe in violence, but I can tell you what. If I was there that night and I saw what happened, I hope and I pray that I would have stood up in the moment for, well, the second one, she was just running from him, but she said she didn't need help, really. I don't know. But at least the first complainant, girl, I would have had you. All you had to do was give me that look that you were in distress. And I was going to walk up and say, what's going on here, Mac? You okay? Can I kick you in that arthritic knee and help you out a little bit? You see, sometimes you got to get aggressive with men for them to know, not today, Bobo. I'm not the one. You're not going to mess with me. Praise the Lord. Most of you have better sense than to be rolling up on me like that. But in case you don't and you have a drunken moment and you come rolling up on me trying to kiss me on my shoulder, I'm telling you now that my response will be the appropriate response, which is to poke you in your eyes, your nuts, or somewhere else that it's going to hurt. Stop touching women. They don't like you, Mac. They think you're nasty, you're sloppy, fat, and disgusting, and you're drunk. In case you missed the memo, you're not attractive. All the women that you've had to go after in your life, it's only because of who you are. Or you're a politician and you can help them get a government scholarship. You can help them pay their mortgages. You can help them get the breast implants. You got offer men $1,000 for BJ. Oh my gosh. I forgot to get into character about that story. Stop it. None of these people are interested in you. Maybe the one person that is your wife at home, and apparently you're not paying her no mind. Go and hug her or something. I guess after 4 to 5 years, she knows what's the what and whatever. All right. We do have this interview that we're going to play. Please stay tuned for this. There's some good information about where to go. Hashtag she is supported. Some of y'all remain a little bit too silent when it comes to these abuses, these indecent assaults that are happening in our communities. And it makes me uncomfortable. I got to tell you, it makes me very, very, very uncomfortable. Someone says hashtag she supported is great unless it's unless it was being used as a political football. Another person says, good morning, Sandy. On 2 occasions, I nearly kissed McKeeva. Kiss or kick? You nearly kissed McKeeva down? Oh, I think you must have meant kick. He was dancing and trying to hit on me. And the only thing he reminded me of was a rooster trying to go after a hen. Ooh, and they're disgusting. Roosters are disgusting. They're perverts. He needs to stop drinking because he has no control over himself when he takes drinks. McKeeva, please seek help because not everyone will put up with your behavior. If you need a cane sometimes, then you don't have a promise. It's called make-believing. If you need a cane sometimes, then you don't have a promise. It's called make-believing. You now know those 2 government employees' jobs are at risk. Well, not the second one, because, I mean, McKeeva might be partying with her this weekend, because thanks to her, his case got thrown out. McKeeva and so-and-so, another family member, have the same drinking problem, and she lives with him. They must be drinking together. Oh, Lord. What a hot mess. Okay. I'm catching up. I've been registered to vote for quite some time, but I've never been called to jury duty. I'd love to serve. Yeah, they seem like they refuse to call the right people. And I mean, they're just not calling enough people from the jury list. I'm going to really seek to find out why that is. Someone says, I'm glad that someone pointed out his Honda Fit. I understand he drives another vehicle, and all of a sudden he starts driving a Honda Fit. This person actually didn't know he was driving a Honda Fit, but I saw him getting into the Honda Fit with the lawyers and stuff. I did make that observation as well. Where were the women's rights organizations, or is it just only the expats that they come out for in protest? Hashtag she supported is great unless it's only used as a political football. People feeling a bit disappointed today in the outcome of this. But I want all victims, whether it's the 14-year-old child now the police have in her custody this morning, 15-year-olds, 50-year-olds who put up with bad behavior your entire lives. I want you to know that you are supported, regardless of the outcome. You know, it's unfortunate that you might not get justice in the criminal justice system. And I don't know if the DPP will take up this case, but, you know, you are supported. And this behavior needs to stop. And we all should be speaking out against this. And you need to start speaking out, not just amongst each other, but you need to start speaking out publicly, because there are victims who have never found the courage to speak out. They've never found that voice. And they're sitting here, right here, all 500 of you watching this live stream. A lot of you have been victims, and you're watching the conversation. You are listening to what people are saying. Okay? So listen carefully, because people are watching and people are listening. And the message now that has been sent out to victims after this is that there will be times that you will speak out and you will do the right thing, and you're still not going to get justice because some idiot in the DPP's office screwed up. Or some juror who doesn't want to be there, sitting there looking at their nails, doesn't give a damn, and they were going to let him walk anyway because they probably got paid off and they didn't want to be there. What a hot mess. Folks, stay tuned for this. I'm going to force you to stay tuned for this interview, because after this interview, I'm going to come back with a few words post 10:30, only for the social media crowd, not for radio. I want you guys to please come back right after this interview. We're going to pop off for just a minute because I do have an appointment that I have to go to, but listen up now, honey child. Hi, folks. So we're here today with Dr. Erica Simmons, who's head of general practice at the Health Services Authority. And she's going to tell us a little bit about, all the different areas really of the hospital, because I know there's different campuses and sometimes people might get a little bit confused about if I'm having this particular issue, where do I go? So this is a question I'm sure, Dr. Simmons, that you probably get a lot. People walking in, is this like, do I go to the emergency room? Do I go to GP? Where exactly do I go? So let's start off by talking about what the different departments are where you can actually get immediate care at the Health Services Authority.
Hi, Sandy. Thank you for having me, and to your audience as well. So like you said, we do have a lot more options for immediate care with Health Services Authority now, and that would come with some confusion for some patients, understandably. So we have the emergency department, accident and emergency department. We also have the urgent care walk-in clinic, and we have general practice clinics.
Mm-hmm.
So for patients, we just need to know when to access which one and where.
Yes. Okay. So if I walk in to the hospital facility, the main campus, and I have what sort of symptoms would indicate that I should really be going to the accident and emergency department?
Okay. So for accident and emergency, that's for severe life-threatening conditions. For anything that needs immediate attention or observation or will eventually lead to admission as well. So conditions, for example, would be chest pain, shortness of breath, suspected stroke, severe onset of a headache, persons who are, having suicidal thoughts, or even persons who are thinking about hurting others. Mm-hmm. All of these should be going to the accident and emergency department.
Mm-hmm.
That's not an exhaustive list. It's just
right.
for us to start, but there are so many others.
Okay.
I think I did mention shortness of breath. I'm not sure.
So that's interesting. So even if it's an urgent mental health need, you should also go to A&E for that.
Absolutely, yes. Anything that's going to be life-threatening.
Right. Okay. Wow. So suspected stroke, acute abdominal pain, would that also be one of those things?
That would definitely be one of those things.
Yeah. So any kind of head trauma, loss of consciousness, even broken bones.
Broken bones, definitely. If you suspect that you've broken a bone, you should go to the emergency department.
What about things relating to infants and young children? What sort of things would you take them to A&E for as opposed to general practice?
High fevers or seizures would definitely constitute as you taking your baby or child to the emergency department. As well, any child that you have suspecting of choking or have ingested anything and you're not sure, definitely should be going to the emergency department.
So potential poisonings or allergic reactions.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, wonderful. All right, so tell us a little bit about what services then would someone go to GP for? Like, how do they know that this is the right place that I should be?
Okay, so general practice is for your non-emergent conditions. Ideally, it's for patients who need comprehensive care for their chronic conditions or for their diabetes, for their hypertension, asthma, all of those conditions. For patients who need to do pre-employment medicals, whether government or private sector, as well as, say, your immigration medicals, as well as for your routine wellness checks, your well woman screening, your well man screening. For patients who need refills on their chronic condition medications, that's also something you should access general practice for. If you have a wound and it needs dressing and you've already had it tended to, but you need a follow-up, we also have dressing clinics at the general practice clinics. And traditionally, we talk about GP, everyone thinks of Georgetown, the clinic in Georgetown, which is now located on the second floor at Smith Road Medical Center. But there is a GP clinic in every district. Bodentown Health Center, Northside and East End Health Center, as well as West Bay Health Center. So when we speak of GP, it's not just the Georgetown location, it's all of the district locations.
Okay. So there has been an actual move from the GP clinic for the one at the main hospital campus.
Correct. Yes. Traditionally, we were at the main hospital, which is where everybody knows us, but we moved, I think, in late 2022. Time kind of goes after a while, but we've been there on the second floor now, and then the pharmacy services are located on the first floor. So when persons come to the main campus of HSA looking for a GP clinic, you're not going to find GP there. You're going to find urgent care, which we will talk about some more.
Okay. All right. Very good. So are the district GP clinics pretty much equipped to handle all of the things that you've mentioned as the main campus, or are there certain things that perhaps you should go to the Georgetown location for?
Well, all of the district clinics, inclusive of the Georgetown Clinic, which is in Smith Road, they're all appointment based. That's how we differ them from the urgent care, which we'll talk about more, and emergency. They don't require appointments. However, a lot of times the district clinics are the first point of care for a lot of patients. So you might not have an appointment. It might be a condition where you can get a same-day appointment, or if a person's coming with an urgency, we're not going to turn you back. We'll still evaluate you, treat you where possible. If it's something that needs immediate, more life-threatening attention, then of course we would arrange for ambulance services and you'd be transported to the accident and emergency department.
Okay, very good. And then urgent care. So a lot of people might confuse, I think, urgent care with the A&E department because, you know, they're both kind of emergency situations. So really, what is the distinction between urgent care and accident and emergency?
Okay, so where emergency department is severe life-threatening conditions that need immediate attention, urgent care is non-life-threatening conditions. However, those conditions would still need same-day evaluation. So that would be like your cough, your cold, your flu symptoms, if in the condition of minor strains and sprains. Even some broken bones can also be evaluated and taken care of at the urgent care. As well, patients having persistent headaches that aren't going away. So not a sudden headache that's occurring with loss of vision that should be seen in A&E. But if you've had like migraines that have been going on and needs to be seen today, of course, that should be done there as well in the urgent care department.
Okay, so same day evaluation, but considered non-life-threatening.
Non-life-threatening.
Yes. And where is the urgent care department located?
Urgent care is located in the atrium at the main campus of the Georgetown Hospital. So as soon as you come to the entrance, you'll see it. Most persons would know it just after main pharmacy. You'll see the signage for urgent care department.
Okay. All right. Very good. Okay. So you have people who might try to bypass, general practice and go directly to urgent care or go to A&E. What's your advice to those individuals about why that's not the correct protocol, but why they should actually follow and go into the right department?
I caution them. I understand that human nature, we want to get seen as soon as possible, but your choices can have a negative effect on other patients. If you choose the wrong service or the incorrect service and you end up going to the emergency department for a non-life-threatening condition, what that does is you're diverting resources for a true emergency, and that could then delay their care or affect their care. At the same time, you're affecting yourself in terms of if you're going to urgent care for a condition that you really could have booked to be seen tomorrow or next week, you could just end up wasting a lot of your time sitting to be seen versus having an appointment, and you could be able to better time manage. So it's not only about making sure that the resources are properly allocated for both the patients and the staff, but to make sure that your time is also better spent.
And then, of course, with the GP facilities, you can see the same physician, so you get continuity of services in terms of that as well, which can be very important.
Absolutely, Sandy. Thank you for bringing that up. That's one of the main reasons I want persons to make sure they have what's called a PCP, which is your primary care physician, which you would have from the GP clinics. Because what that means is you have that doctor who knows about you, knows your family history, knows your personal history, and is able to see where you've come from and for you together to plan where you want to go, as opposed to going to urgent care where you're going to be seeing a different physician every time. So you're going to have to tell the story over every time versus someone who knows your health. So if it is a condition that you just need to get immediate attention for that or same day attention for that, then choose between emergency because it's life-threatening or urgent care because it's just a condition that's minor but still needs to be seen today. But if it's for your long-term health, or if it's for preventative health care, or if it's because you're out of your chronic meds, rather than sit down in urgent care for an hour or two waiting for a refill, you could access the refill clinics at the different GP clinics.
And what are the hours then? I mean, is there a time when GPs close, urgent care is closed, and the only choice you have is to go to emergency?
Okay, well, we all know emergency is 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Urgent care clinic, however, is Monday to Friday, 8 a.m. to 8 p.m., but they also open on weekends and public holidays. And those hours are 11 a.m. to 8 p.m.
Okay.
GP is Monday to Friday for the clinics, and then there's a dressing clinic on Saturdays. But to remind everyone, it is by appointments, but just because you might not have an appointment doesn't mean you shouldn't try to still call to say, is there a same-day appointment? There might not be a same-day appointment in Georgetown, but you can get a same-day appointment at another option or one of the other district clinics.
Yes. Okay, that's very good. All right. So, how do you go about making sure that you get an appointment with GP sort of, as early as possible? Is there some good protocols to ensuring that you're getting through to see your physician?
Just call the main hospital number 949-8600 and ask the operators to put you through to the appointment clerks, and they'll help you. If you don't have a specific physician, then they will just give you the next available physician. If you're trying to book with your regular physician, which I do advise, just find out when they'll be working at specific clinics, or when you do see your physician, just say, okay, when do you want to see me again? And then you can put it in your calendars to know when you need to book your follow-up appointments for. For the urgent care, you can just access them without an appointment, as we said, just access them for those opening hours.
Okay. So there are people who are listening to this interview and they're right, but I'm not sure if this cold is actually, I feel like it's life-threatening because I can't breathe or whatever, but how do they really make a good decision about whether this is a true emergency? Is it urgent care? Is it GP? Like, where do I go? What's the best advice you can give them?
There's nothing wrong with picking up the phone and even calling the clinics to just speaking to one of our staff. One of the nurses from the various clinics, they're happy to do what's similar to a phone triage. They'll answer your questions and they'll help to guide you. Well, I really think you should come in and go to urgent care, or no, we can see if we can get you an appointment this afternoon in one of the clinics. Everything seems urgent to all of us. That's natural. But if you speak to another person, they can help to guide you if you're confused, because we do have a lot of options. But I think persons genuinely know if this is something that is life-threatening. They should be, yes, a true emergency.
Yeah. And of course, things with children, because of their age,
nature, definitely.
and it might be a little bit different. I heard of a mom recently, her child was running a high fever. And I said, wow, this is not something you want to sit on and wait for days, because that can cause other issues.
No, there are conditions that we definitely don't want you to sit down. And I don't want anyone to take home that I want you to sit down and watch any conditions, especially for kids, those age groups, and in vulnerable populations. So our children, our elderly. If you have concerns, urgent care or emergency. And, the staff there as well, once you get there, let's say you do go to emergency, the staff will triage you and they may say, okay, but this can go to urgent care. So they're not turning you away. They're just sending you somewhere that you can get seen and evaluated and sorted as quickly as possible, but also making sure the correct resources are being used.
Talk again, sort of to recap for everyone's benefit now, about the 3 different departments, where they're located and how people can get access to them.
So options for immediate care at the Health Services Authority in Grand Cayman, you have the Accident and Emergency Department located at the A&E entrance at the front of the hospital. Urgent Care Clinic, the walk-in clinic, that's at the main entrance, the atrium, just after the main pharmacy location. Urgent Care is open Monday to Friday from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. and weekends and public holidays from 11 a.m. to 8 p.m. And then the general practice services, there's a clinic in every district. They're open Monday to Friday from 8 to 5 and on Saturdays for dressing clinics. However, these clinics are primarily by appointments, but you still will be accommodated.
All right, wonderful. Well, Dr. Simmons, thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedule to give us this very, very useful information. And again, folks, the important takeaway here is, the HSA wants you to go to the right department, the right area, so that you get the care that you need and you benefit the most.
Thank you, Sandy. Thank you, everyone.
All right, folks. Thank you to Dr. Erica Simmons. Again, important information there in terms of just knowing where to go. That's important, so that you're utilizing those services as they should be utilized. All right, just a quick note, Cayman Brac listeners, good morning. There is an event today that you should be aware of. Please, if you've got people in the Brac, make them aware of this open house event that is happening today from noon until 3 p.m. at the Cayman Brac UCCI campus. They're going to have food, giveaways, and you're able to meet the team, give them your views, and much, much more. So come on out to the UCCI University Open event today. You can scan the QR code to register. I'm sure they need that for the number of people that might be showing up, just to give them an idea of what they need food-wise. But hey, it's the BRAC. They'll probably have enough food. So come on out, honey child. Come on out. Come on out. So we're off of radio. And yes, we gonna talk for just a minute here about a few things. So again, Kim and Brack, nice. Oh, link up. UCCI, University College of the Cayman Islands. Good job. Inclusive of everybody, keeping the Brack in the loop. So, boy, I'm a little bit disappointed sometimes in the things that, you know, we see in here and the attitudes going on in our community. Now, I know that George, he was here earlier, but let's just get over it. You know, George, it's easier for you to say, let's just get over it, because I'm suspecting no woman has ever touched you in an unwanted way. And I find that a lot of men disregard how women feel when it is unwanted touching. Even for the second complainant who says, well, she doesn't think it was elevated to a crime, it is obviously something that still made her extremely uncomfortable. And for her to use a sentence or a term like, it is the most bizarre thing that has ever happened to me, I'm like, really? Huh. That's interesting. Interesting choice of words. Honey child, excuse me for eating my breakfast, but I thought it was a very interesting choice of words. And I also then find it bizarre that she still didn't think that this elevated to a crime, but you know, that's her opinion. I'm not here to make any victim feel any particular way, one way or the other. I think the whole thing is bizarre in terms of how this has turned out. Now, McKeeva Bush, you don't listen very well. I don't know, what do you? You got some serious issues that you need to give some attention to be quite frank and honest. And it's unfortunate that there's so many people in our community who can talk about the fact that you have offered them sex, you have said inappropriate things, you've done inappropriate things to them over the years. And the few people that you haven't, thank God I can raise my hand, that you haven't done so, they might feel like they're safe, but one of these days he's going to be in another drunken spell and you're going to just be there and you're going to be the next victim. But I guess like Aunt Lotta used to say, "Dup, know who to frighten." Because McKeeva Bush, I would fucking punch you in your head. You hear me? I need you to understand something. You have got to leave women alone. Stop being a nuisance. Stop being a pest. Stop being a pervert. Leave women alone. You're supposed to be Speaker of the House at the time, a man of a particular position. Even the second complainant. You celebrating her today. Oh, yeah, she helped me, got off, blah, blah, blah. Listen to me. Listen to what she said in her interview. Do you not have any shame? Huh? I don't know. Your mother raised you to be like this? Would your mother be pleased with your behavior? If you had a grandmother, would your grandmother, they always say, what you're doing now, if your grandmother could see you, would she be happy with you? Because, I mean, I don't know. Maybe they raised you to be like this. I don't know. I don't know them. But I suspect they probably didn't, and they're probably decent people. And you have just managed to turn out, despite having accomplished all these other things, you're still boorish. You hear what the second complainant called you? Yeah? Odd and a drunken old man. That's going to be your legacy that you left for the Caymanian people, being a nasty, drunken old man who could not keep his hands to himself. What is wrong with you, dude? When are you going to stop? It's just too much. And everybody like, oh, he Teflon Don, he get off again. You know, it's actually not something that's funny or amusing or something to even make light of. It's really quite astonishing and disgusting that this man has been doing this for donkey years. Even the first victim says, this isn't the first time with me. Girl, I'm glad you stood up. The outcome might not have been what you wanted it to be, but let me assure you that the next time Mr. Bush is at an event, he is going to think twice, right, about doing this to anyone. Hear me good? The outcome isn't what you wanted, and the DPP screwed up. Let me be very, very clear. But regardless of that, Mr. Bush was still made to sit in the dock just like any other common criminal. He was sitting there biting his nails. Poor thing couldn't help himself. I noticed, Mr. Bush, you appeared to be a little bit anxious throughout quite a bit of the trial. He was subject to the judge telling him, sir, sit up properly in court. He won't blame his arthritic knees for that shit too, I'm sure. And so this now is part of the process. The outcome isn't always what it should be, but still takes some degree of what's the word I'm looking for? Some degree of comfort isn't really the right word, but that's the best thing I got. And that at least they tried, although they tried and they failed. So it's not a situation where they completely ignored you. They took statements, right? It's just that unfortunately, when they should have really considered how to bring that second witness in and not to bring her in, they really kind of screwed up on that. And so he still got to walk free. Now, they can still recharge him, far as I know. I mean, I don't think there's any reason why they couldn't on the basis of your testimony alone. But you can already see where the defense is going and where they're going to try to undermine your testimony and the things that you have said, both in your police interview and then the subsequent questioning. You got to stand your ground. And I'm surprised, quite frankly, that they don't prepare witnesses a little bit better to deal with these types of interviews, because I can assure you that at the end of the day, they don't care. The defense doesn't care. Their objective is to get their client off, and it is what it is. Yeah. Ay. Sad day in the Cayman Islands for more reason than one. It's a sad day that, no women's group yet. I'm waiting to see, are they planning on coming out, but they just haven't had time to sit down and write a press release? Like, what are they doing? None of them have said anything. This is how it is. This person, both of these women being Caymanians, I'm sure they're now thinking to themselves, oh, wait a minute. When he assaulted a woman and all the women's groups and the hashtag she supported people were out, were they only doing that because that particular victim was an expat and happened to be white? And so she gets a different kind of justice? Because that's a question that I'm sure if you were in this situation that you yourself might be asking here today. The Caribbean woman gets subjected to, oh, it's okay, ma'am, because I understand that in the Caribbean, this is what you guys do. He goes around grabbing you by the puss, grabbing you by the panani, and it's okay. Because y'all are very friendly people. Isn't this what you do? You hug each other all the time. Isn't that right? Don't even agree to that. Say, you know what? No, I don't accept that it's okay for men to be kissing you on the shoulder and grabbing you when we don't have that kind of relationship. So no, we no longer live in a society where that type of behavior is going to be acceptable. Careful how they try to trip you up with these questions. Oh, the video doesn't show him falling over. Well, the video might not show that because videos don't pick up every single thing. They're elements of behavior, okay, that are picked up only in person that a video with no audio is not going to show you. I was putting my hand in his back, not because I was interested in Mr. McKeeva Bush, or I was encouraging him to be kissing me on the neck, but because that is a move to try to stop him from further embarrassing himself and embarrassing this country. Are you trying to say that as a victim, I wanted to be molested by him? I wanted to be indecently insulted by Mr. Bush? When you understand, honey child, listen, you can be defensive. Just like the other witness was defensive that she didn't want to be there, you can be defensive. That you want to be there and you want justice. And you want the whole world to know that you want justice. This is part of the problem. Ms. Della says the same way the women politicians we have, the silent group, try and hush about them. Exactly. Some of them that night was also subjected to Mr. McKeeva's bad behavior, and they never filed a police report, and they never said anything. If y'all think it was only these two women that had him trying to suck on them and whatever, y'all are mistaken. There were reports of others that I heard from that night. I'm not going to call them because obviously they have decided not to come forward. And yes, some of them are MPs and some in a position of power. But they don't use their so-called power when it should be used to speak up for people. Mr. Bush, I don't really give a fuck if you like me or not. In fact, I think we might have to accept that that's going to be how it's going to be, and that's perfectly fine. But I still want to give you a warning that you better stop this behavior. You've gotten it so many times. In another 6 months, we are going to be here in the same spot again with you and your drunken behavior. Remember the Spanish woman that I asked you about before this case came up, before this incident? Why you don't tell the people of the Cayman Islands about that and how you pulled on that poor woman here? But you know, poor Spaniards, they're so desperate here in a work permit. Give her $2,000 and she's not gonna say nothing. But people know that it happened. You got a problem. You've got a serious problem. And you cannot help yourself. You all in this community need to stop defending this kind of behavior. I'm not defending it. And listen, I'm a person who I try to be a fair person, right? I've tried to give Mr. Bush a chance. I've told you guys, this isn't about politics for me. I don't give a shit about politics, right? There was a time when Mr. Bush took me aside and gave me some advice that I felt like, you know what? This man didn't have to give me, and it was about being used by the likes of Alden and these politicians. And he said, you know, you got to start looking out for you. At the time, I didn't have a kid, whatever, but he's like, you got a family, you got a future. Start looking out for yourself and don't let these politicians use you. I guess he would know a thing or two about that because they all use people when they're ready. And I said, Mr. Bush, I appreciate that, and I thank you. And so I tried to open up, you know, like, okay, maybe he's not really so bad of a person. Maybe he has some redeeming qualities. And I'm not saying that even now, I'm not saying that he doesn't have redeeming qualities. Even the devil got redeeming qualities, truth be told. Okay? The biggest serial killer in the world probably got some redeeming qualities too. But at some point, the redeeming qualities are overshadowed by everything else. You know, I have tried to, okay, he gave me some good advice. I'm going to give him some good advice. My advice was, sir, stop drinking. The people who come around you when it's convenient for them, oh, Mac, you know, I'm here for you, blah, blah. They're not really there for you. They're there for you because you have something that they want. They're going to run to the next election and they need your support, right? Because they think you still carry that kind of clout in West Bay, them damn West Bay fools, still voting and messing things up, right? They think it's going to be good to have you on their platform. Little do they know. What I'm saying to you is those people don't actually care about you. They care about what you can do for them. So they're not prepared to tell you the honest truth. I am someone who have no stake in this when it comes to you on a personal level. I could give a damn. I don't care who you offering $1,000 to for BJ's or Punani or whatever else. Okay? What I'm saying is you've got some issues that you should, for your own sake, try to get some professional help for. Alcohol appears to be one of your biggest issues. Touching women, unwanted touching and getting feely touchy with women, sucking on them, kissing them, all of that is inappropriate behavior. And you need to stop it. One of these days, sir, you're going to buck up on the wrong person with it. And I can tell you right now that heaven forbid if it's me, okay? I will punch you or anybody else in self-defense because you have no right to put your lips on any woman. You have got to stop it. You're an embarrassment to this country. How many times are we going to have you in court for the same sort of foolishness? How many times? Huh? It's like a broken record. And it's always women that you're going after. And I want to encourage you to try to figure out why you have such an issue with women, why you can't seem to keep your hands off of them in one shape, form, or another. That's very, very problematic. Folks, I got to go to my appointment. I've said all that I could possibly say. I don't know what else to say to Mr. Bush. I mean, politically, you know, they use him because they need him. Everybody understands that. He back up in Julie's cabinet again. And, you know, it is what it is. How do you stop somebody like a Mr. Bush? How do you ensure that he goes out there and get help? Well, all you can do is not vote him back in. Now, y'all came awfully close last time. And I'm going to say this to you, that we need some fresh blood and some better caliber people running even against Mr. Bush, because I can tell you that last time, unfortunately for Mario, you were not it. McKeeva knows too much of your dirt, which he was all too willing to share with even me, about when your parents came begging him to make a certain incident with a certain woman disappear as well. That's not who can take McKeeva out, although he came within 12 votes. I'm sorry, but that's not gonna do it. We need some people of character and real caliber who don't have no dealings with McKeeva, and McKeeva don't have no dirt on them that he can be holding over their head come election time. If you are a decent person that can step up to the plate and help out your fellow country with, you know, you're not greedy. Yes, you're going to be paid a decent salary to do a job, but we don't need you to go in there being greedy and being able to be bought off by other politicians or developers or whatever. Be able to stand your ground on behalf of and for the people of the Cayman Islands. You have got to get ready. Please get ready. The people need some decent choices. The people are ready. Put yourself out there. And I know what's going to happen. I know the attacks that are going to come your way. They won't call you this, that, and the next thing. But by God, get ready. We need some help. As long as McKeeva is elected to public office, he claims he's not running again. We know that's a bold-faced lie. Just like Julie claims that she's not running again. We know that that's a bold-faced lie. As long as these people are elected to public office, we have no chance. Because there's too many snakes in there, in the snake pit. And they're all working together. And so what they do is they work together. And they're always going to put in, unfortunately, even when the good ones get in, they're going to find a way to remove them and put in the ones who are self-serving and looking out for themselves. I hope to God that this government, including Madam Juliana O'Connor Conley, was paying attention at the meeting that took place Wednesday night in West Bay, when the West Bay people said this is the worst government we have ever had. If you're not listening, Juliana O'Connor Conley, you need to listen. Because you're trying to blame CMR for your own inefficiencies, your own ineffectiveness, your own cutthroat ways, but don't blame me. I'm not the one who has divided this country. And to be honest, we're not actually that divided because we're all pretty much of a singular mind, right? We have a singular mind that you are the worst thing for this country. Might be a few dissenters who think you're great, but it's not many. So trust me when I tell you, the majority of people in this country understand the duplicitousness of who you are. And that is what you don't want to expose. And that is why you're doing your best to, we're going to get rid of CMR. We're going to do this. We're going to do that. Well, the people will have their say. And I can tell you that you can do your best to get rid of me. But I got to tell you one thing. I go down fighting. It's not going to be that easy. Even if I have to leave this jurisdiction and move somewhere else where I have freedom of speech and do my live show from there where you have no control over me, you better believe that's when things gonna fucking turn up. They got to turn up then. What are you gonna do? Come to the United States of America and try and stop me? You gonna stop freedom of speech from over there? Right. I don't think so. Not today, TD. Not today. Caymanians, continue the good fight. It's real out in these streets, as y'all can see. People will attack you physically. Your own family members will attack you for trying to do the right thing, for trying to speak up against child molesters. But I tell y'all what, today that young lady has been recovered. They need to get her counseling. She needs to go back to her family. I'm sorry if she's pregnant for Jaron, because this must be child number 15 now. But they're going to have him in police custody, and they're going to arrest him for having sex with a minor, which is rape. That's child rape. You're a friggin' pedophile. And the audacity you had to call in on my show and accuse me of being sexually interested in you and trying to make moves on you, you are a sick motherfucker. You hear me? You are sick. That is not my ammo. I'm still on air. I'm still on air.
All right.
I'm still on air.
No, I'm just checking if these guests have empty buckle because the truck just drive up.
Oh, I don't know. Ring the doorbell and see. I don't know. Okay, go ring the doorbell and fly down the truck.
All right.
All right.
All right.
I am really disgusted that you would even suggest such a thing. But you know what? It certainly demonstrates that you have a certain mindset. For someone to make up something like that, make up a lie like that about people, that shows you who they are. Who in their right mind is going to make up a lie about me was interested in them? I guess he was saying when he was underage, which is a lie, because my Roque business has not been around that long. And I've not even been to you. I don't even know where you live, dude. I've not been to your house ever. Right? To tell you nothing about no Roque business or nothing else. So he just makes up a complete lie. Why? To try to deflect, because he's the one who's a child predator. One of these days, one of these fathers going to grab you and put it on you like you deserve. And to every single baby mama of Jaron's who's out there who's wanting to defend his foolishness and support him, shame on you. Shame on you. Because I question whether or not you would support your own children if he molested them. The children that, yes, you have with him. Shame on you. Are you going to offer them any support? Alexa, hush. You know, I don't have any faith in you as a mother. You're disgusting. But justice will come. Trust me when I tell you that justice will come. One way or the other. Don't worry. And it coming for you, Jaron. It's definitely coming for you. Praise the Lord. Police, do your jobs for a change. Do your jobs. All right. Javier says, how do I get the keys back? What keys back? You got a message, Javier, the WhatsApp number, and we'll try to figure it out. We post stuff all the time, so I don't have the time. I don't even know what's posted. And yes, someone said he keep giving these girls all these STIs and stuff like that. It's so sad. Ana says you are foul mouth. Have you ever listened to the show before? Ana, have you ever listened to the after show before? Yes, I'm foul mouth. And so what? That's the least of your worries? People out there molesting children and you're worried about my foul mouth? Okay, then. I can always see where the issue lies. Javier, 324-1612. If you don't like it, you come off of the live stream. Don't be on here. You don't have to be here. Nobody wants you here. Come off of it. Okay? Y'all are so stupid. You really major in some stupid shit. Seriously. What you need to be concerned about is who's out there molesting your children. Are you messaging them? Saying that that they're foul? Have you been doing that? I'm just wondering. Just really curious and wondering. Talking about foul mouth. Yeah, that's right, Alejandro. Soft line. We're not invited here after 10:30, TD. Clearly, you don't know what's going on. Nobody. Y'all think I'm insulted because you say I have a foul mouth? What? That's not an insult. Being a child predator is an insult. Okay? I mean, some of y'all need to be told to go fuck yourselves, quite frankly, because y'all not got no sense. I'm foul mouth, so? And your problem is? That's exactly what some of y'all need, a little bit of foul mouth. So Karen, if Ana only knew that your team today, right? My God, I barely saying anything today. Lord have mercy. I'm foul mouth. Oh, excuse me. Let me find the English accent again. Shall we talk about the tittle tattle? Oh my God. No, please don't use any profanity. Don't be foul mouth, because that's all we pretend to be caring about in this country. Fuck you all who talk about being foul mouth. Nobody don't give a damn about that. What you need to do is talk about all the abuses that's happening in this country. How your politicians can go around with their dirty foul mouth and sucking on people and nothing is done. That is what foulness you need to be talking about. How about you talk about that for change? Yes, that's what I'd love to know. What a mess. That is what you worried about? That is the foul mouth that you worried about? My God. Y'all have lost the plot and then some. Wow. You want McKeeva's foul mouth to be on you? Is that better? Y'all need Jesus. You all need Jesus. Oh, the blood of the good Lord Jesus. Please come and delivereth your people from the foul mouth of it all. Because, good Lord, that is what they're insulted by. Not by the child molesters and the pedophiles that are also MPs and the pedophiles sucking and touching women. Lord Jesus, the blood of Jesus, please come and help us. That is what you should be worried about, honey chill. Hallelujah. Can we get a hallelujah up in here? Hallelujah. Hold on. Praise the Lord. After 10:30, if you don't want to hear no foul mouth, just come off the show. Nobody not gonna care. You're not hurting my feelings. So just go sit your behind down, okay? Go whip out your Bible and start reading. And let McKeeva come knocking on your door so he can pretend like he's a Christian, and then he'll go Sunday and sing in the choir. And then after that, he'll be out there talking to little boys. Get it together, folks. Get it together. I'm not here to make you feel better about nonsense that's happening in this church. Not the church, but it might be happening in the church too. But I meant to say in this community. All right, good folks. I got an appointment and I like to be on time. Here's Celine says, if Sandy starts collecting offerings, then I'm out. No, honey child. No, honey child. That not gonna happen. All right, folks. Have a good weekend. Yeah, they're a bunch of hypocrites, child. Have a good weekend. And please remember, the most important thing for you to remember is that there are going to be people who are going to come around you and try to feel you up, try to feel up your wives and your daughters and everybody else. You've got to start sending the message out there loud and clear. We will no longer tolerate this behavior from nobody. Nobody. I don't care who it is. I don't care if it's a politician. I don't care if the person is Speaker of the House. I don't care if it's the governor. I don't care who it is. Stop tolerating this type of behavior. And in the moment, do what you got to do to protect yourself. Don't be sweet. As one witness said, oh, I was sweet and smiling. Don't be sweet and smiling. Give them one good Georgetown look that look like this. That says, if you don't get your hands off of me, I gonna fuck you up. That way, that'll look you need to give him. And I bet you even in his drunken state, he gonna understand that look. You a Cayman Braca, you give him that Cayman Brat look, and you put your hand like this on your Kimba, and you don't be putting your hand on his back, honey child, and you tell him, you touch me, and my foot is gonna end up between your legs and your little gonads. You're gonna be keeling over in pain when I'm done with you. That's what you need to start doing. Women, take no prisoners. Little says, look like how? Let me try and do it again. You give them this look, this Georgetown look that said, boy, I gotta fuck you up. That way you won't get fucked up. That way you won't get. Yep. I bet you then. He gonna think twice. He gonna go find the other sweet little girl who not gonna tell him more than needs to be said to him. Okay, that's not gonna be you. All right, folks. Thank you, Miss Vernita. And everybody else, y'all gotta start practicing these things in your head. Because when it happens to you, you're in such a state of shock. It's like you're not expecting it. You honestly, your body doesn't, remember how I told you your body learns certain things? Your body don't know how to respond. Once you start practicing it, and you make sure you can dig deep and find how you really feel. And there's no confusion about how you feel. And when your fist hits their head, they gonna get it. They gonna understand. They gonna understand real good. When the pepper spray coming into effect, y'all say, bring it on. Because we're gonna be carrying one, and on the side of it, it's gonna say McKeeva Bush and any other politician that dares to try me today. Gotta get sprayed. Beautiful people, y'all have a good weekend. Love you lots. Love you lots. Miss Juanita, love you, honey child. She said, give that Georgetown look again. Listen, I'm a Georgetownaina. Look at it. Look at it. The Solomons. I give you the look. Boy, I gotta bust your head open if you do that again. Not again. The first time they do it. Get ready. Get ready, Bush. I'm gonna beat you. Yeah, it's called self-defense. And you have a right to defend yourself. Don't make anybody make you feel like you have to be sweet and nice to them. That's not in the manual anymore for little girls. You tell little girls, boy touches you and you don't want to be touched, you tell him, get your hands off of me, and you punch him. One good punch or kick in the nuts. And I bet you he'll learn then. He'll learn. And like I said, I'm not a violent person, but women have got to know when they're under attack. When you're under attack, you don't be like, oh my God, I'm going to be nice to him. No, honey child, you dig deep. I know you're a nice girl, but you dig deep and you find the power to just push him away. Make a scene, even with your own voice, with your body language. What are you doing? Get your tongue off of my neck, you ass. What the fuck did you just do to me? Make everybody hear it. So when they got called the bitches in court, they're not gonna be like, well, I didn't know nothing was going on. And I was standing right next to her and I had no idea. You show them that you know. Cha, you bring out that towner, yes. You bring out that East Ender, wherever the hell you from, you're a Caymanian. And we are sick and tired of being abused by our own men, by the way. By our own MPs, our own politicians. Chris Saunders, you listening? All the civil servants that had to work with Chris Saunders, listen to me. Every time he walk up to you, oh, I want to grab you and I want to eat you, blah, blah, blah. Right then and there, you said, excuse me, minister? What did you say to me? Right up in the government building. Make everybody turn around and look. All your co-workers, I bet you one goddamn thing he got stopped then. Embarrass him. Look at the time, I gotta go. Why is it that we as women have to be the ones that feel embarrassed? We're the victims, But we're the ones carrying the shame of their bad behavior. No fucking more. Sorry, Miss Anna. Sorry for you. Stop listening. What are you listening for? If you're so offended. Stop being, you are going to be the victim. Say no more. Make him feel uncomfortable. He's the one who should have been like, oh, my God, I'm uncomfortable now. Good. Then stop doing it. Stand up. Yes, Miss Della. Women power. It is time to stop playing with these fools. McKeeva, you a lucky man. Because I can tell you one fucking thing. Well, they said that I knew who to frighten. I'm so glad I wasn't there that night in a way. And then another part of me wishes I was there because I would have stepped in and done something about you. But it probably would have landed me in jail. So it's a good thing because like I keep telling y'all, I'm not designed for jail. I'm too cute for jail. And so that's not what my life story is going to be. But defend yourselves, please. Lucky is the word, says Stephanie. Yes. Make him try it. Make him try it. He can't keep it up, Oh, trust me. He can't keep doing it because he can't help himself. And he got back up on the wrong person. And y'all now know what to do. Like I said, you first give him the Georgetown look. That's the warning. And then coming next is the pa-pow. Or use your foot, ka-pow. Kick him right in the nuts. All right, folks. Siobhan, y'all be good. I got to run. Have a good afternoon. Friday. It's Friday. Hello, folks. Turn up a little bit, but don't drink and drive. I keep telling y'all to stop this drinking and driving foolishness, and y'all don't want to listen. Accident after accident on a roadway. All right, folks. Bye-bye.
Thank you for tuning in to another episode of The Cold Hard Truth on Bobo 89.1 FM. Cayman's #1 talk show is live weekdays from 7:30 a.m. Never miss an episode again. Watch anytime on CMR's Facebook and YouTube channels for the latest show episodes. Don't forget to follow us online on our social media channels and visit CaymanMarlRoad.com for all the latest news and community happenings.
This 13th of April at Festival Green, Camana Bay, get ready to experience the culinary capital of the Caribbean. To support local restaurants. To celebrate Cayman heritage. To feel the rhythm and dance the night away with family and friends. Get ready to taste. Get your tickets online now. Visit tasteofcayman.org.
Save the date for Red Sky at Night. March 2nd, 4 p.m. to 11 p.m. The grounds of the Harcourt Theatre will come alive for Cayman's premier multicultural arts festival. Enjoy delicious local food, watch music, dance, and theatre performances. Check out dozens of artisans selling their beautiful art, crafts, jewelry, and accessories. And visit the Caymanian Village. Tickets $10 for adults and $5 for kids and seniors. Purchase yours today at ticketplus.ky or at the gate on event day. Don't miss Red Sky at Night, March 2nd.